on the air, radio dials to those 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online, sportstalk1051.com, where you can stream it. Get the link for the YouTube stream. Got the app. Got your Google and Alexa home devices. All that fantastic stuff. Shoe Doctor's bullpen line, 715-830-1912. You can hit us up with some texts, all that there too. But happy Tuesday! It is a Grind My Gears Tuesday. It is also a Turn 2 Tuesday. Get you the Turn 2 topic coming up here in just a little bit. But maybe if you're just waking up, a little late game last night. Brewers, first team to shut out the Dodgers in LA this year. Brewers picking up the win 4-0. Eric Lauer picking up another win against the Dodgers, going 9-5 so far this year. But it was Keston with another dinger. Christian Yelich back, batting in that third spot in the lineup, collecting a hit and RBI as well. Brewers putting up 3 runs in the top of the ninth. Nice little insurance runs there after, low-scoring affair. Brewers just putting up the 1 run in the fourth thanks to Luis Urias. But adding a little insurance there in the ninth, getting that victory, a much-needed victory. And it's setting up for, at least on paper, quite the pitching matchup for the game tonight. Corbin Burnes versus Gonsolin. 15-1. Burnes looking for his 10th win of the season. Could be a matchup between the reigning Cy Young Award winner to the potential winner this year for the NL Cy Young, Mr. Gonsolin. So, but hey, we'll recap the win from last night. Looking ahead to big game tonight. Brewers win tonight with Burnsy on the mound. They win the series against the Dodgers. Right now, they're 3-2 against the Dodgers so far this season. But again, with your latest updates in the standings, Cardinals picking up a win. Albert Pujols, another dinger. He's 7 home runs away from getting to 700. He's at 693 right now. But looking at the division, no ground made up for the Brewers, but wild card, it's kind of going back and forth between the Padres and the Phillies. With that final wild card spot, Phillies are at just holding the slightest advantages, 67-55 with a 549 win percentage. San Diego 68-56 with a 548 win percentage. So Milwaukee still remaining 1.5 back. So we'll chat a little baseball. We're gonna throw in a little. Hoops chat, NBA chat. Kind of a nugget that dropped yesterday from The Athletic that the Bucks inquired about Kevin Durant. To what extent? I don't know. But Memphis is kind of the team that's getting a lot of the attention right now because, they got a lot of young prospects, and there's talk that they don't want to give up some of these prospects or players, I should say. They're not prospects, but just kind of in like a side little nugget. It was like, yeah, the Bucks expressed interest in Kevin Durant, according to Shams from The Athletic. Pelicans, Hawks, Sixers, Bucks, Nuggets. None of the conversations gained much traction, but what do you think about that potential of a Giannis and a KD Bucks fans? I mean, if it costs you, it probably cost you Middleton. Who else would you probably throw in there? I mean, I would have to imagine it would focus on Chris Middleton. Possibly keep Drew Holiday. Then you'd have Holiday and KD and Giannis. Maybe you'd have to move on from, Brook Lopez and such. But, Brooklyn at the same time is going to want pieces where they're not going to be too far out of it because they're holding on to Kyrie. Or at least Kyrie's making them hold on to him because he opted in. But I don't know. What do you think of that? If you had to, give up 2, 3 impact players on that Bucks roster to pair up KD with Giannis. Would you do it? Might not have much of a bench. Might not have much. You'd be KD and Giannis and Drew Holiday. But besides Giannis, who's like the one player or maybe a couple players you wouldn't? You don't want the Bucks to move on from. Maybe you don't want the Bucks to move on from Middleton. Maybe you'd rather have the threesome of a Middleton and a Giannis and a Drew Holiday. Kind of fun to think about though a little bit, isn't it? I know there's depending on what your views are on KD and that, but it's kind of fun to think about Giannis and KD on the court at the same time. Just throwing that out there, but I don't. I think it's what we hear from a lot of general managers. They're doing their due diligence, making a phone call, maybe kind of gauging what it's going to cost, what it's going to be, what is it going to take to potentially make a deal of that magnitude. And like the Athletic said, none of those conversations gained much traction. But I think it's just John Horst doing his due diligence. All right, what's the asking price? It's like when you're on, maybe you're doing a little shopping yourself. You're maybe not necessarily in the market to buy, but you're just kind of curious of what something's going to cost. And maybe if it's a good deal, maybe you pull the trigger or something like that. Kind of the same thing here. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's your asking price. All right, we're moving on. But kind of fun to think about a little bit, right? I mean, KD and Giannis, I'd put them as favorites, especially in the Eastern Conference. No doubt. We'll chat a little Packers here too. Packers practicing a little bit. So we're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers. This should be the final, unless they're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough on Wednesday. But should be their final practice before the Thursday night game against the Chiefs. So we'll hear from Aaron what he had to say about the wide receiving group. Christian Watson, back in with doing some team drills. He had himself a good day yesterday, it sounds like. Nothing yet on Elton Jenkins and Bobby Tunyon with participating in team drills. But Packers, too, maybe kind of just preparing themselves for the possibility that if Mason Crosby isn't ready for week one. They had a pretty big list of kickers in for workouts yesterday. 1, 2, 3, it looks like 4 or 5 of them on the list there. That's not including the one that they've already got on their roster. So maybe just kind of preparing for themselves in case Mason can't go week one against the Minnesota Vikings. But we've got a couple weeks away from that happening, but still something to maybe kind of monitor just a little bit there. So we'll talk a little green and gold. We'll throw in some Badgers chat with RJ Cardinal coming up a couple hours from now. Kickoff for the Badgers, just a couple weeks away. So let me ask you this: what do you get more excited for the start of the season? This is your turn 2 question. Is it the college football season, or is it the NFL season? Do you get more jacked up? Do you get more excited when it's the college football kickoff or the NFL kickoff? So essentially, I'm asking, are you maybe a bigger NFL fan or a bigger college football fan? Or maybe you're just I guess it's possible that you're a bigger Packers fan, but you enjoy watching college football more. But which one do you get? Which one do you get a little bit more excited about? Which one do you get a little bit more jacked up about? And maybe to kind of add to this, how do I want to say this? What style, what type of game do you enjoy the college football game more? Do you enjoy the pro football game more? I mean, we could probably pick and choose elements from each game, whether it's the overtimes or like the pass interference calls and the penalties and all that. We could choose elements, but if you had to pick like just what style what type of game do you enjoy the most? Is it that college football game, or is it the pro? Is it the pro game? And are you willing to pick Alabama, or are you going to pick the field this year when it comes to the national championship? Alabama or the field, huh? Seems like that's every year. That's my one bugaboo with college football is like depending on who your favorite team is, you lose one game and it's like, ah, okay, your season's like completely derailed in terms of like what your expectations or what your goals are for a bowl game. So like Wisconsin. You know, a lot of times if okay, you lose one game, you can probably kiss going to a final four goodbye unless, you know, some other stuff happens above you in the standings and some other teams above you lose some games there. But, you know, Alabama loses a game, nah, they're still in it. Ohio State loses a game, nah, they're still in it. Parity might be a little nah. But that's my one bugaboo. It again, it just depends on who your favorite team is or the team that you follow. And in this case, Wisconsin, you know, they lose a game to like Northwestern or something like that. And if you have national championship aspirations or going to a Final Four, then you're really going to need a lot of help to get there. Whereas, you know, pro football, you lose a game, it's not the end of the world. Got a couple more, got a few more games on the schedule to make up for it. But that's my it's always kind of been my biggest bugaboo when it comes to college football, and of course, you know, polls, right? And I get it. You kind of have to have polls because there's so many D1 schools and that, but it's like, man, it's all based off of judgment instead of sometimes figuring or you know answering the questions on the field, letting the teams get it done and getting it done on the field and such. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, but we'll chat some more college football with RJ coming up in about a couple of hours from now, about 8:20 here this morning. So, let's get things rolling here this morning. Just kind of do a little bit of a smorgasbord, if you will. But we'll throw in a little baseball talk. Brewers picking up a big win last night against the Dodgers. Eric Lauer, he's got something against the Dodgers. I know in his last start we were talking about his record against the Dodgers, and he could just whatever it is. Even Dave Roberts, manager for the Dodgers last night, said we haven't been able to crack that code yet. Go back to his time with the Padres and such. But sets up for, you know, last night was kind of a pitcher's duel. Tonight, it sure looks like it's going to be another one when you look at the two pitchers on the mound. Little TBD for the Brewers starter tomorrow night because Aaron Ashby is going on the IL. Now Adrian Hauser's with the team and he's a candidate to be that starter. But we'll see. Little Greg Council playing a little close to the chest, right? So, but we'll throw some Brewers chat in there. We'll throw some Packers chat in there. What are your expectations for the you know for all the talk about the wide receivers for the green and gold for the Packers this year? You know, we got Alan Lazard, you got Randall Cobb, and you got Sammy Watkins as your what would you say as your veterans. But how about those rookies? What are some realistic expectations that you are having for these Packer rookie wide receivers, specifically Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson? Romeo Doubs with his training camp and his preseason, a lot of talk, right? A lot of hype surrounding 87. But what is your realistic expectations? Have your expectations risen because of Dobbs' performance so far in training camp, for all the excitement, for all the hype? Has it risen a little bit? Well, if when we hear from Aaron, maybe he did a little bit or has a little bit. But what are some realistic expectations. So get to that. We'll hear from Aaron. How about that? We'll change it up here a little bit, and we'll hear from Aaron coming up after the break and what he had to say about his rookie wide receivers and such. But let's get things rolling here. Wisconsin Credit Union opening drive. Get things rolling. I just said that. All right, we'll talk some Brewers baseball. We'll talk some Packers football, college football too. What gets you more excited? Start of college football season or the start of the NFL season? Hit me up with some texts.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Mark your calendars for August 27th through the 28th because it's time for the 5th annual Wissota Open at the Lake Wissota Golf Course. This tournament is a two-person team net best ball style, and first place winner receives $2,000, second place winner receives $1,000, and third place receives $500. Plus, the low gross score wins $500. Sign up your team now for $350 per team. Just visit wissota.golf for more information and to register your team for the 5th annual Wissota Open.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane power generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Do you remember the countless times when you were young and playing in the backyard, daydreaming of playing against or with your favorite athlete, or imagining yourself chasing your dreams and experiencing life the way you're supposed to? That's how we came up with a name for Backyard Dreams. Backyard Dreams is WAYY Sports Talk 105.1 790 AM's charitable entity. We have 5 main goals for Backyard Dreams: to provide and promote opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play, to help anyone overcome obstacles to chase their dreams, to help raise awareness for those in need, to help create opportunities for those to enjoy their passions, and to help those enjoy their life and create special memories. It doesn't matter if you are a child, teen, or an adult. Backyard Dreams wants to help anyone. For more information, success stories about Backyard Dreams, and if you know someone who could benefit from Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com and click on the Backyard Dreams tab. Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number one on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason, anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
Stand by as we continue our dig for the truth and the toy at the bottom of the cereal box.
Oh, got it.
The Dan Kasper Show.
As we inch a little bit closer and closer to the start of the pro football season, next Wednesday it looks like it'll open up. Don't forget to sign up for our pro football pick'em challenges and new this year, our Survivor Pick'em challenges. They will be available at sportstalk1051.com. Just click on the Nation tab or hover on over the Shows tab and click on the Pro Football Happy Hour show, and it'll be up there as well. So put it on your calendars. Don't forget, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially the Survivor Pick'em challenge. A little wrinkle added to that one. And we got a little back and forth going on here on the Shoe Doctors texting line here. Before Surveyor even texted in, G-Man calling out Surveyor Sam this morning. Surveyor, I will take the title belt home. The golf bag, talking about the Packer golf bag from Service Master, the longest putt, closest to the pin, prize, and some new swag. Surveyor. After that, Surveyor doesn't even know G-Man calling him out right now. Surveyor, I got to grind my gears, DK. This has got to be the slowest week ever. My God, I woke up this morning thinking it was Wednesday, and nope, it's Tuesday. That's like getting a call from that cute girl in your anatomy class to study, and when you get there, you're actually studying. Let down big time. Just be Friday already, and thank gosh it's not going to be raining Friday because C-Bomb is going to be hitting water all day, and G-Man just might put his cart in the drink. Yeah, this could be fun. We are like we're full up too. We're gonna have a lot of people there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it. Title belts should be arriving in the mail today. So I will I'll post up some pictures once they arrive so everybody can kind of take a look at it and see what they look like. And I'll post some pictures of some of the other prizes and raffle stuff and all that good stuff. But yep, Kasper Classic coming up on Friday morning. All right, let's one question I've kind of threw out there for you. What are your realistic expectations when it comes to the Packers rookie wide receivers this year? Has those expectations maybe changed? So rewind back to the draft. Christian Watson, second round pick. A lot of mocks had him as a potential first round pick. Green Bay trading up in the second round to get him. Romeo Doubs. There was some, even when he was drafted in the fourth round, there was some general excitement about Romeo. But now that training camp's gone through and preseason's getting ready to wind up here on Thursday night, Romeo has been the talk not only in Packers training camp but all across the preseason. Him and George Pickens from Pittsburgh, probably the two most, or at least the two most talked about rookie wide receivers so far. Watson missed a lot of time, but returned to team drills last couple of days. And, well, according to the quarterback, he's had himself a nice couple of days here. So has your expectations with these rookie wide receivers, realistic expectations, changed at all, especially with the emergence of Romeo? Let's hear from Aaron, and maybe you can gauge your own opinion. But Aaron was asked about, throughout his history with the Packers, and we've touched on it before, there's always been a receiver in waiting, right? They've always had really good depth. They've had veterans. Then there was always a guy waiting. Jordy Nelson was, when he got in, there was guys ahead of him. Greg Jennings, Donald Driver. Randall Cobb, same thing. Devontae Adams, same thing. Not, when you look at the veterans now, there isn't a Devontae Adams. There isn't a Jordy Nelson. That's not to say Alan Lazard, can't go out there and have a great season, or Sammy Watkins can't go out there and kind of resurrect his career. But it's a little bit different. And Aaron was kind of asked about that and his thoughts on the expectations for the wide receivers. Audio courtesy, Packers.com.
Because it's different than it has been in the past.
Yeah, I think you have to be real about the expectations with all those guys, and then hold them to a standard of what they're capable of at this time, based on those expectations that are realistic. So the whole key is the consistency with what's being taught, the consistency with seeing improvement each day, and maybe just a reminder that every single one of those plays we're watching, whether it's ones, twos, or threes, split group, one group. And I just think there's a way of practicing that they just need to understand. playing the specific drills, having an awareness that we're in a third down period, we're in a red zone period, we're in a 2-minute period, we're in a move the ball period. Each one of those periods has a different urgency to it and different little games within the game. And I just think there needs to be an understanding of that. And that's what some of the conversations in the film sessions have been about. But we just want to see improvement from those guys week to week. I feel good about the veterans that we have in the room. I thought Randall had one of his better practices at camp today. Sammy had 2 great practices last week against the Saints. Allen's been very consistent for us. It's just that next group of guys, who's going to step up and get playing time out of that next group of 3.
How far behind is Christian and stuff right now?
I mean, I thought he was pretty good yesterday. I thought he was pretty good today. So he asks a lot of questions. He cares about it. He comes over and, tries to get on the same page. And if anything happened, whether it's good or bad and different. So I enjoy his approach. But he's got a different skill set. He's a big body who can run, and just got to get him a little more consistent, I think, tracking the ball down the field. But he made a nice play in the 2-minute right there. So the thing that I've seen with him is just mentally the improvement from day to day. Yesterday we did a kind of spur of the moment adjustment in a period, and I told him what to do in the huddle, and it's something he's never done before, and he went out and did it perfect. And it's those little things like that start to gain that trust and that confidence and get you excited about things. Now, Dobbs done a lot of really nice things, but I think the standard for him is not going to be maybe the standard for a normal rookie that we've had here in the past, especially in the past, 4 or 5 years, because he's going to be expected to play based on his performance so far in camp. So we got to hold him to a standard that I know he's capable of reaching. But he cares about it. He's a great kid. He's made some instinctual plays that you just can't really coach. He ran a little in and back out in the game, and at the top of the route, there's a guy right there, and instead of kind of drifting on it and letting the guy make the play, he comes hard back to the ball, strong hands, and that's you like seeing those plays. It gives you confidence. Now I'm not throwing him that ball, but it gives you confidence that he's capable of doing some things that might not be on the paper offense.
All right, so those are just some comments from the quarterback Aaron Rodgers about his receivers, specifically some of the 2 rookie receivers there, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, and he noted too that the expectations for Romeo Doubs or the level of expectations is probably gonna be a little bit higher than what maybe in the past for those rookie wide receivers to kind of come through Green Bay. And I mean, when you look at it, it has to be, right? I mean, it kind of has to be. Mostly because you look at the top 3 wide receivers of Lazard and Watkins and Randall Cobb. And then, I mean, there is no Devontae at the top. There is no Jordy Nelson and that sort of thing. But I think, too, I mean, you to go out there and have the camp that he's had and have the preseason that he has had so far, yeah, those expectations certainly change. And they should. Why not? The guy's proven it. There's probably going to be some growing pains. I mean, there's going to be, I hope it doesn't, with the excitement of a guy like Romeo Doubs and what type of preseason he's had and the type of training camp that he has had, I hope it doesn't get to a point where, if there is a little bit of a hiccup or he does have a couple of drops here, people will all of a sudden say, sky's falling, guy's a bust, move on, all that sort of thing. And I started to hear that a little bit at the preseason game. Like it was, I think Dobbs missed a catch or dropped the ball or it was a bad throw or something like that. But instantly, there was a lot of people griping about Romeo Dobbs. And I know that was probably just a minority. But it's like, I really hope that doesn't spread because there is going to be, more likely than not, times throughout the season where these 2 rookies, Romeo and Christian, they're going to have good days and they're going to have their bad days. They're going to be up and down. And Aaron kind of talked about it right there with the consistency. That's the biggest thing. Consistency. Week in, week out, game in, game out. Being consistent. You noted Alan Lazard has been consistent throughout the whole preseason, or I guess in his case, training camp, because he hasn't played in the preseason. But yeah, I think those expectations have changed a little bit for the rookie wide receivers. It's a good thing because I don't know. I feel mildly comfortable. I feel comfortable with the wide receiving group. I think Allen Lazard is going to take a jump this year. If Sammy Watkins can stay healthy, him and Aaron have seemed to develop a connection already. We know about him and Randall. But, Romeo, he's going to get opportunities. And then we'll see how quickly Christian Watson can get up to speed and get on the field and get in the good graces of one Aaron Charles Rodgers. I was thinking about this last night too, and I saw Mike Renner kind of switching gears here a little bit. I wanted to bring this up with the offensive line. Mike Renner, Pro Football Focus, he's been on our program a few times. But I didn't realize this. He had tweeted out only 2 rookie offensive tackles haven't allowed a pressure yet this preseason. Minimum of 25 pass blocking snaps. Zach Tom is one of those, the 4th rounder from the Packers. Zach Tom, that offensive lineman who has played like almost every position besides center so far for the Packers. But the thing is he played 2 years at center for Wake Forest, so he's got the experience there. We talk about the versatility of Elton Jenkins. You got Zach Tom here doing the same thing in his rookie year. And he is off to a fantastic start. An absolute fantastic start. And there was, again, a lot of intrigue surrounding Zach Tom when he was drafted in the 4th round. This versatility, this guy that could play left tackle, then center, maybe even slide into guard here a little bit. But to me, he's going to be a guy to kind of watch as the season progresses. Now, I don't know if he'll start. I don't think he'll start the season as a starter. But remember, Elton Jenkins didn't start his rookie year as a starter year, and he was a 2nd-round pick. So, again, the word of the day, expectations. Eventually, he was going to be that guy. But you kind of wonder, okay, so on the offensive line, where could there be an opening, right? Where potentially could there be an opening? Well, if Bakhtiari comes back, it's not going to be Bakhtiari. He ain't going to get left tackle. Left guard, John Runyon, he's been there a couple years now. We got Josh Myers at center. Probably not. Right tackle, Elton Jenkins has been working over there, but, you could put Jenkins at guard if you wanted to, I guess. I go back to Royce Newman. Royce Newman started a bunch of games last year, got some experience, but, Zach Tom, Matt LaFleur has consistently said throughout his time as head coach for the Green and Gold, the 5 best will play. The 5 best offensive linemen will play. And you're seeing Green Bay in these early parts, in these practices, in these games, plugging Zach Tom in every spot on that offensive line, which to me tells me he might be next man up. Depending on the position, Yash, I think, is going to be strictly backup left tackle. When we go back to Adam Stenovich's comments last week, where he said, his footwork and his fundamentals over on the right side, not up to par as he is with the left side. So to me, that's like, okay, Yash is going to be the straight up backup left tackle, it seems like. But then you've got Zach Tom, who might be, your most versatile backup offensive lineman on this ball club. So I think Zach Tom, and I know offensive linemen don't usually get a lot of talk in preseason and training camp. They don't make splash plays. They don't, grab the 50-yard touchdown or they don't grab a couple of sacks in the second preseason game of the year that kind of puts them on the spotlight or the Twitter spotlight for a lot of fans out there. But Zach Tom, and it caught me by surprise too. I'll admit, when Mike Renner put that out there, and he's like, "Hey, this guy hasn't allowed a single pass pressure yet," and he posted some videos and all that. I'm like, dang. Got to pay attention a little bit more to the Zach Tom. I mean, we keep hearing his name pop up in practice, and he's like, oh, he's playing guard. Oh, he's playing right guard. Oh, he's getting some snaps at left tackle. Oh, right tackle today. I think we're going to see Zach Tom on the field regular season this year, logging quite a few snaps. I think he's trending that way. And heading into this year, there were some questions with the depth at offensive line. When you factor in the injuries to Bakhtiari, to Elton Jenkins, and they're still, I mean, specifically more so with Bakhtiari than Elton, there's still a little bit of an unknown. Can he actually get back on the field? Can he get it going in that? But I look at this, the depth now, and I'll be honest with you. I know I'm putting some faith in some youngsters and some guys with a whole lot of, not a whole lot of experience, but I kind of like their depth on there. Yash got a lot of playing time last year, got some playing experience. He's the backup left tackle. All right. Zach Tom's looking good this year. All right. Jake Hansen, he's been getting a lot of reps at guard. Longest time he was a backup center, still backup center, but he's been getting some time at guard. All right. I kind of like the depth. It's putting some blind faith into him because we haven't seen, like a Hansen or a Zach Tom in regular season game action. I get it. We got Surveyor's boy, Sean Ryan, who was a third-round pick. But I kind of like this depth. It's a nice mixture. We got some veterans in there with Bach and Jenkins. But I like the potential of this depth on offensive line. I really do. And again, there might be some pains. There might be some growing pains. I know Aaron talked about yesterday at practice that they didn't do that great of a job, blocking up front. But that Packers defense and that defensive line has had their way throughout the majority of this training camp. They have just been lights out. And Rasul Douglas maybe kind of let it leak yesterday. He said that defense is going to play on Thursday. Does that mean the offense is going to play Thursday too? I don't know. But Rasul Douglas kind of let it leak out that he heard the plan is defense is going to go out there and play on Thursday. I'm excited to see that unit, that starting unit, get it going this year. It's going to be fun, man. All right. We got to take a quick break. Your thoughts? Hit us up with some text, 715-830-1912, 715-830-1912. We're going to talk some Brewers, too. Brewers, first team to shut out the Dodgers in L.A., behind noted Dodger silencer Eric Lauer. So Brewers picking up big win last night. We got a big game tonight. When you look at the pitching matchup for both ball clubs there, we'll touch on that too. Plus, you get more excited for college football season to start or the NFL season? Let me know.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Do you remember the countless times when you were young and playing in the backyard, daydreaming of playing against or with your favorite athlete, or imagining yourself chasing your dreams and experiencing life the way you're supposed to? That's how we came up with a name for Backyard Dreams. Backyard Dreams is WAYY Sports Talk 105.1 790 AM's charitable entity. We have 5 main goals for Backyard Dreams: to provide and promote opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play, to help anyone overcome obstacles to chase their dreams, to help raise awareness for those in need, to help create opportunities for those to enjoy their passions, and to help those enjoy their life and create special memories. It doesn't matter if you are a child, teen, or an adult. Backyard Dreams wants to help anyone. For more information, success stories about Backyard Dreams, and if you know someone who could benefit from Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com and click on the Backyard Dreams tab. Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number one on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason, anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Progressive presents Married to Your Home.
I'm such a screw up.
What? House? Why would you talk like that?
How are you even with a house without a walk-in closet?
Stop. You have more than enough storage.
Oh yeah, and the unfinished basement. Gross.
We'll finish it eventually. Together.
No matter how much you already love your house, you'll love it more knowing you could save big bundling your home and auto with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Sports. You love it. We love it. And quite frankly, I don't trust anyone who doesn't love it. Do you?
Is that a serious question?
The Dan Kasper Show.
I want to give a special shout out to some of our sponsors, partners for the second annual Kasper Classic. Big thanks to Princeton Valley Golf Course, of course, for hosting us, hosting all of us goofballs over there for Friday. Big thanks to the crew over at Princeton Valley Golf Course. Park Ridge Distributing. We literally couldn't do this without the help from Park Ridge Distributing. Carpet City Flooring Center. It's going to be good to see the boys from Carpet City Flooring Center out there. Hy-Vee, Brandon and Bourbon Mark. Going to see them. Clay from Service Master Chippewa Valley. Huge shout out to him as well for the donation, the golf bag that everybody's going to be wanting for the raffle prizes. VFW Post 305, Economy Furniture, Meyer and Construction, excuse me. Or Tony, shout out there, big boy. Wisco's EC, Wagner's, Lanes and Complex, Jade Excavating, Doodah Gin, Pro Valley Auto Glass Shields, Spectrum Industries in Chippewa Falls. Big thanks for the donation, for the raffle, for the gaming chair, and Samuel Adams. So looking forward to Friday. Definitely. Hopefully the weather, stays good. A couple texts. Is it to Marcus? I'm not a fan of our receiving core. I feel like AR12 is going to throw more picks because of our receiving core. Aaron Rodgers doesn't even sound sure of them. I think we need a new GM, always getting rid of good players. And I'm also tired as Rodgers is quarterback. It seems like he's more interested in being on a podcast than winning a Super Bowl. Interesting. All right. Rest of you agree with that? Let's take a quick phone call here this morning. What up, C-Bomb? How you doing?
Good morning, Del Capitano. How are we this sunny Tuesday morning?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I had a little fun fact for you if you'd like me to share it with you.
Oh, boy. What's fun? What's the fun fact?
Well, here is the fun fact. It is taking all of the Major League Baseball season and Freddie Freeman 121 games to put together 151 hits. 151 hits, it's taken them all season. Surveyor Sam does that in one afternoon on the golf course. I can't wait until Friday, my brother.
Ooh, all right. So I don't know, like Surveyor G-Man kind of got quiet on the texting line there after they both, did a little shot. So I want this trash talk to continue. Don't falter now, boys. Come on. Keep it going. I'm waiting for some good ones out there.
To get on your YouTube live stream and get going back and forth, because then they can go in real time. That's the way to do it.
That's true. So what else is on your mind besides lame fun facts?
Hey, that was a phenomenal fun fact. Come on now.
I was just seeing if you were going to catch me. I was just seeing if you're listening. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, so I don't want to the Brewers since the trade deadline, and I'm not gonna change my tune yet. I'm still not happy with it, but my question is this, and I want to see your take on the Brewers. I want to talk Packers, especially after that last text message. But I had Brewers on my mind, and
you can talk about both. There's no Morgan this morning, so you can bring up both.
Oh well, I kind of enjoy when Morgan pops in there. You two kind of crack me up right before I jump in the truck for work. So anyway,
you got to take that up with her, man.
I'll have to do that. Here's the thing. I got with the Brewers, okay? So they've got this series against the Dodgers, right? And then they face the Cubs, which I cannot believe they almost got swept by the Cubs. So we got the Dodgers, and we got the Cubs, Pittsburgh, Arizona, and Colorado. Those are three bottom-dwelling teams, and there's zero reason if the Brewers lose any of those series, let's just throw in the towel. But legitimately, they should win each of those series. My question is, do you think there's enough time for them to even get back into the playoffs? They're going to have a couple weeks stretch where they got to play the Yankees and the Mets, Cincinnati, St. Louis, but then they finish up with Miami and Arizona again. Mm-hmm. So my thinking is, I want to get your take on are the Brewers, can they make a push, and will they be in the playoffs?
I think that obviously they're going to need a lot of help. I don't think they'll win the division. I mean, I look at the Cardinals and their upcoming schedule too, and there's nothing like it's like, oh, there's a stretch where they could lose a bunch of games. I think their best part is going to have to be the wild card. The frustrating thing about the Brewers to me is that they're 30-26 against teams who are over 500. The Cardinals are they're 24-28 against teams over 500. Philly is 29-34 against teams over 500. The Braves are 26-28 against teams over 500. The Padres are 20-27 against teams who are over 500. There's only three total teams in the National League, C-Bomb, that have winning records against teams with a 500 or better record. Dodgers, Mets, and Brewers. And where are the Brewers right now? Outside looking in, for crying out loud. So they can, step up to the spotlight and have these games against the Dodgers and split a 2-game series and almost win that thing, win last night. Yet you go up against the Cubbies, you go up against the Reds in Pittsburgh, and you can't even win the damn series. Crying out loud. Playing down to the competition, man.
They really do. It's frustrating, and I'm just trying to hold out hope. I think for me, Dan, the biggest issue for me is that this team at the beginning of the season, I legit thought they could make a run. Now, did I think they'd win the World Series? No, not necessarily. I thought they might have a legit shot to get there. And we knew all along that we were going to have to add a bat or two. And we knew I said all along that they probably have to trade Hader to do it. And then, they just tore our hearts out at the trade deadline by giving up Hader, who's been struggling, so that hasn't really hurt us, but not getting a bat in return. We got a lineup of sub 250 hitters, and it's just frustrating. We got a pitching staff that goes into LA and shuts them out.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we going to do with that staff? You know, give them an exit early, might not even make it to the playoffs. So I just wanted to test your take and see what you thought we might get if we can get to the playoffs or not.
This, I'm just kind of and I know this isn't a stat that tells everything, but I just think it's just kind of interesting because we always talk about playing down to the competition, have teams beat good teams and all that. 6 total teams in all of Major League Baseball, C-Bomb, 6 total teams have a better than 500 record against teams who are 500 or better. There's 3 in the American League. All are division leading teams. Houston 35-21, Yankees 44-36, Cleveland 31-26. Nobody else in the American League. Seattle's close. They're 31-32, but they're under 500. And then we just went through the National League. All those teams are playoff teams except one, the Brewers, who are 30-26 against teams over 500.
Yep. And we go right back to that and find the team with the worst team batting average. And I bet you the Brewers lead that discussion. So, yeah, it's just disappointing. Thank goodness we got the Green Bay Packers in football season here to turn our attention to. And that last text, could you read that again? Fire the GM?
Yeah. I think we need a new GM. Always getting rid of good players.
Oh, I would like to have a discussion with that individual just because to see where they're coming from. Not everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I think Gutekunst has done a phenomenal job navigating this team, navigating the drama of the last 2 years of Aaron Rodgers and building the roster. And if we can take this receiving core and make a run and have them develop, I mean, he should be GM of the year because coming into this year, before training camp ever started, we were blasting them for giving away Adams and having nothing in the pipe. Mm-hmm. So if these kids can turn out and come out and produce, and this team makes a deep run and hopefully comes back with the hardware, I think Goot needs to have a statue.
So it sounds like, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does it sound like? It sounds like to me that maybe your expectations for the rookie wide receivers have changed since they were drafted back in April. Like you're expecting a little bit more, maybe from Romeo Doubs.
They really have more so from Dobbs than Watson, just because he's been doing it. I mean, I always say that wide receivers, the Jamar Chases of the world, the Justin Jeffersons of the world, they don't fall off trees or everybody would have them. Those guys are unique cases. For the most part, wide receivers take time to develop. I mean, even running backs can. For crying out loud, Derrick Henry, his first 2 years did nothing, and look at him now. But this Dobbs coming in and making plays, and granted, it's only preseason. It's in at training camp. But if you look back, do you remember outside of Devontae Adams, people coming in at wide receiver and making splash plays over and over and over? And it never happened. That's why it was always Devontae Adams every year. And I think Romeo Doubs, I think he's going to be big. I think if Watkins could stay healthy, he could be a real difference maker. So in short, in a roundabout way, I guess I'm answering yes. I think I'm expecting more out of this wide receiving core than I did 2 months ago.
And I think, and I would agree with the texter that I think Aaron's going to throw more picks, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be a bad thing. He might throw more picks, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Green Bay is going to be, worse because of it. It just might be he's forced to throw it into, a rookie receiver or into coverage a little bit more, and then he's going to have to open up his trust a little bit more. I don't necessarily think throwing a few more picks is going to be a bad thing, necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And if he throws more picks, he's still going to have less than anybody else in the league.
Right.
The thing for me is this team's going to come out and they're going to play hard, and these wide receivers are going to develop. Let's go get a Super Bowl and finish this season the way we need it to finish.
All right, C-Bomb. There's the Oscar music. You have a good day. We'll talk to you soon, okay, bud?
Thanks for having me, my brother. Have a good one.
You got it. There you go. There's C-Bomb. All right, 1 in, 2 more to go. We'll be back after these quick words.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. Sports Talk 105.1 with the very latest local news.
gavel is dropped for a jewel thief. It's a little more than 4 years in prison for an Ohio man who admitted to stealing $4 million in jewels from a Wisconsin shop. A judge last week sentenced James Quinn to 57 months in federal prison. This was for a robbery at Trevor and Straub Jewelers in Brookfield in July of 2016. Prosecutors say Quinn and at least 2 others broke into the store by cutting a hole in the wall, breaching the safe, and then making off with the jewels. From Public Health, there's now a case of monkeypox in Dunn County. Public health managers confirming that yesterday. It's the county's first case. No one's saying who has the virus or how they got it, but the CDC yesterday said there are 43 cases across Wisconsin. If you're interested in more info from the CDC and public health officials, 715newsroom.com. Taking a peek into the political stage, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson says his involvement in an effort to pass a slate of fake electors to Vice President Mike Pence was brief, not something he'd need to testify about before that January 6th committee.
I had nothing to do with the alternate slate. I had no idea that anybody was going to ask me to deliver those. My involvement in that attempt to deliver spanned the course of a couple seconds.
That was in an interview on WISN's Up Front. The Wisconsin Republican called media reporting on the matter a, quote, grotesque distortion, end quote. Johnson is running for that third term and, of course, faces Democrat Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes in November. Speaking of the ballots, the August election will become official later today as the state's Elections Commission is set to certify the canvass from the August 9th primary here in Wisconsin. The votes have all been counted and in some cases recounted. Election managers expect that final vote count to show a record turnout for a primary election. If you're looking for something new, they're looking to add a badge at Chippewa Falls Police Department. The city yesterday said there's an opening to hire another officer. Police Chief Matt Kelm says back in 2012, they saw nearly 100 applications for one open position. That was down to 5 the last time that Chippewa Falls went looking for a new officer. You can find more info online. Click right to Chippewa Falls, and when you go at 715newsroom.com. Ever wonder what some people are thinking? Well, let's get inside of the brain of Elon Musk. He says his Neuralink neurotechnology company is ready to show the world more of its work on brain implants. What, Mark?
On Monday, Musk tweeted that Neuralink will put on a show and tell progress event on October 31st. Musk didn't provide any hints about what to expect, but Neuralink's last big demonstration involved a monkey playing Pong through a brain-computer interface. Tech industry analysts expect something similar at the Halloween event. I'm Mark Mayfield.
If you're working on your golf swing for the Kasper Classic on Friday, just letting you know, Dan's had some weird ideas this year. For instance, he said he wanted to
involved a monkey playing Pong through a brain-computer interface.
For Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Morgan McCarthy.
A few locations will once again start off the morning with a bit of patchy fog, but we'll have abundant sunshine today, even more than yesterday. Now, that said, it'll allow us to warm up a little bit more this afternoon, as we can expect to top out mostly in the mid-80s. Later on tonight, mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions, with temperatures dropping to about the low 60s. But then tomorrow brings us a couple chances at some showers and storms into the afternoon, with increasing clouds throughout the morning and temperatures into the low 80s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike Dandria.
The corn and soybean crops around the country continue to hang in there as some parts of the country continue to suffer through hot, dry weather. Let's take a look at some farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1. In this week's crop progress report, the corn crop fell 2 points as it's now rated 55% good to excellent, while the soybeans are rated 57% good to excellent. That's down 1% from last week. Development of both crops is also just a little behind last year. 97% of the corn is silked, 75% of the dough stage, 31% is dented, and 4% is now mature. For beans, 97% of the plants were blooming, while 84% were setting pods. In Wisconsin, the corn is rated 77% good to excellent. That's down 1% from last week, while soybeans are now 78% good to excellent. That's up 1%. 94% of the corn in the state is silk, 59% has reached the dough stage, 11% has dented, all slightly behind normal progress. In the beans, 96% of the plants have blossomed, 84% have set pods. State farmers have also harvested 66% of their oats, 15% of their fall potatoes, as both crops are rated over 80% good to excellent. Third crop hay is also 80% finished, while farmers have also made 12% of their fourth crop. Topsoil moisture conditions also improved in the past week, now rated 84% adequate to surplus, 14% short, and 2% very short. And the driest parts of the state include west central and northwest Wisconsin. Ukrainian grain and steel has been stolen by Russia. The Initiative for the Study of Russian Piracy has released a report containing the amounts of grain and steel that Russia has stolen from Ukraine. More than 500,000 metric tons of Ukrainian grain and more than 11,000 tons of Ukrainian steel has been taken by Russia and has since been sold to support the war against Ukraine. That's a look at some farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Bob Bosold.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Staples has everything you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. Don't send your kids back to school, send them forward at Staples, the working and learning store.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary. You knew it! In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports. Let's go for it! Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it. You can't handle the truth! Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time. Second hour kicking off on this Tuesday morning. What's grinding your gears, people? It is a Grind My Gears Tuesday. Hit us up with some texts. 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Or you can hit us up on the Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. Let's do some sports nuggets of the day to kick off this second hour of the program. Not a whole lot. 1982, Gaylord Perry with the Seattle Mariners was tossed out of a game for throwing an illegal spitball. 1989, Pete Rose, the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, agreed to a lifetime ban from baseball after being accused of gambling on baseball. Those are just some of your sports nuggets for this morning. Again, not a whole lot out there, right? Not a whole lot, but kind of our turn to question of the day. What gets you most excited? The start of college football season or the start of the NFL season? Both are quickly coming up upon us. College football starting a little bit earlier, but what start of the season gets you a little bit more excited? Is it the start of college football and all those games, or is it the start of the NFL season? Now, you might be more of a Packers fan, but you enjoy college football more. Maybe you enjoy the style of college football a little bit more. I mean, I don't want to go down to every little fine detail of where the differences are in that, but just kind of generalizing the whole thing. I know there's quite a few people who are, maybe they are a bigger Packer or Vikings fan, but they enjoy the college football game a little bit more. So what side are you on? Right now, I would say it's about 60-40, more excited on the start of the NFL season, according to our some of the texts that we've got coming in here. So it's about, I would say, roughly 60-40 in favor of the pro football season, starting of the pro football season. You can keep your thoughts coming on the expectations of this Packers wide receiving group. We talked about them for a little bit. We've got Brewers taking on the Dodgers again tonight. Corbin Burns on the mound for the Brewers. Might be a matchup of reigning Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns versus future Cy Young Award winner, probably maybe even this year. I mean, it's kind of hard to, not kind of come away with that conclusion when you look at what Gonsolin has done this year. 15-1 with a 2.12 ERA for the Dodgers. Late game again tonight, 9:10. Coverage will begin about 35 minutes prior on the radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. So we'll see if Corbin can pick up his 10th win or if Tony's going to pick up his 16th win. Brewers have, I mean, they're 3-2 against the Dodgers this year, and we just kind of went through some of the numbers. They're 4 games over 500 against teams with a 500 or better record. They're one of 6 in all of Major League Baseball with that. But they're the only team, too, that are not currently in the playoff picture, which is the frustrating thing. You rise up against teams that, or you play it to the level against really good teams, and it seems like, as of late, the Brewers have fallen, played down to their darn competition. Cubs, Pittsburgh, Reds. Frustrating, but got to turn it around, man. Got to turn it around after this Dodgers. You can't, I mean, it's like just like a same thing over and over. Got to take care of your own business. Take care of your own business. Well, freaking stop talking about it and start doing it. I'm grinding my gears. Brewers are grinding my gears. A couple texts to catch up on. Surveyor, college football gets me the most excited. The atmosphere in Madison, the student section rocking, the true ambiance with the marching bands and tailgating, plus the pride of that's your school. Nothing gets more hilarious than a Badger and Hawkeye alum trash talking across a bar on State Street. Evil Surveyor Sam, what gets me most excited is Team Surveyor Sam mopping the floor with Kasper's golf duo this Friday. A lot of trash talking coming from Team Surveyor leading up to this outing. So I don't DeMarcus Mike Gutekunst grinds. I'm assuming you mean Brian Gutekunst, Packers GM, grinds his gears. I'm curious, DeMarcus, what about Brian Gutekunst grinds your gears? Like what example would you like? What's your? I know you said that always getting rid of good players, but I mean, if you're just referring to the Devontae Adams issue, you got to remember Devontae wanted out. Packers offered him more money to stay. It just turned into a situation he wanted out. They don't want to be there anymore. So, I mean, are you gonna hold on to it and potentially cause more drama? And the fact that he was able to turn around the Aaron Rodgers situation, I don't know. I like Goody. I would agree with Surveyor where, he said Goody deserves a lot more respect than people give him. I think Goody has done a good job. He will be judged based off Super Bowls and how many titles he can help bring to Green Bay. We all know that. He knows that. But I think he's done done a great job so far in his short term. What do you mean they're going to end up like the Vikings and Bears? I want more specific examples, Marcus. Give me why you say that. Give me why you say that. All right. But back to the Brewers here for just a few more minutes because we'll talk some more green and gold coming up in just a couple minutes here. But Corbin Burnes, when you look at some of the matchups here with the lineups, obviously the Dodgers have a little bit more experience going up against Corbin Burnes tonight. Brewers, they got their experience in their previous 4-game set last week against Tony here. But Keston, 3 at bats, 333. That's 1 for 3. I mean, there's not a whole lot to gauge off of just one game. So on the flip side, got a little bit more with the Dodgers going up against Burnesy. Cody Bellinger's a lifetime 250 hitter against him. We've got Freddie Freeman's a lifetime 333 hitter. We've got Justin Turner, 286. Those are the players with the most experience against Corbin Burnes. And I'll be honest with you, nobody's got double-digit at-bats against Corbin Burnes on the Dodger side of things, which kind of surprised me just a little bit. But again, I know they probably don't. You'd think, probably about 2 series a year, so it makes sense, I suppose. It makes a little bit of sense there. But if the Brewers win tonight and secure a series win against the Dodgers, and believe we'll have a winning record against the Dodgers all year. But if the Brewers get the W tonight and get that series win, secure a series win, where does the gauge go for you in terms of like, all right, they're sucking me back in? I mean, it would be a big-time win against the Dodgers to win this series on the road. But as we were just kind of looking at some of the numbers, I want to see them start winning games against the freaking Cubs in Pittsburgh, and Arizona, and Colorado, and Cincinnati. Great that you're, doing this against the Dodgers. It's awesome. But you know what? It ain't going to mean nothing if you can't take care of business against teams who are below you in the standings, inferior opponents, record-wise. So after this Dodger series, you need to go on a run. There is no excuse. You have to win the series against the Cubs at home. You have to win the series against Pittsburgh at home. Take care of business against Arizona in a 4-game set. You got Colorado too. Those are winnable series. You should win those series. You come home against the Giants for a doubleheader. Then you got 3 games against Cincinnati at home. You need to win those series. Put yourself in a position by the time you get to September 13th in a 2-game set against the Cardinals. Then after that, it's the Yankees and the Mets. By the time you get to September 13th, you better be either in that postseason, in that wild card chase, or just like a half a game back. You have got to take advantage of this upcoming schedule. No more playing down to your competition, Brewers. I mean, good gravy. It's ridiculous. To start off the month of August, losing to Pittsburgh, losing to Cincinnati. Okay, you bounce back and you beat Tampa. Great. St. Louis, you fell to. Dodgers, you split. And then you almost get swept by the Cubs. Great that you're winning these games against the Dodgers, but you know what? It ain't going to matter if you're going to lose games against the Cubs and Pittsburgh and Arizona and the Reds and all that stuff. Take advantage of this, for crying out loud. There's probably my grind my gears Tuesday. So, again, tonight, 9:10. Going to be a late night again. But you can check it out 35 minutes prior on the radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. How many of you yesterday, by the way, if you saw the little nugget that got a little excited when you saw the nugget about the Bucks calling about Kevin Durant, allegedly, reportedly, from the Athletic? Shams from the Athletic saying several teams have expressed recent interest in Kevin Durant, including Pelicans, Hawks, Sixers, Nuggets, and your Milwaukee Bucks. He did note none of those conversations gained much traction. So I'll admit, fan of me, it's like, hey now, KD and Giannis pairing up together, I think instantly is probably the best duo, or one of the top 2, top 3 duo in the entire NBA. I mean, Jay Billis would just go nuts talking about wingspan the whole time with those two. I mean, you're forming probably a 4-3. Giannis playing the 4, KD a little, playing the 3, the small forward. But I mean, it's a huge lineup. You're probably giving up Middleton. I mean, Middleton's got to be a part of that package. I don't know if you'd put Drew Holiday in there. Then I'd be like, if it cost Middleton and Drew Holiday for KD, are you pulling that trigger? Are you pulling that trigger if it's going to cost the Bucks? I don't think it's going to happen. It's fun to talk about, though. It's a nice little barstool banter. Grab a couple cold ones and talk about it. But if somebody offered you, if you were the Bucks for the or if you were John Horst, would you make that deal if it cost you both Middleton and Drew Holiday to bring in Kevin Durant to pair up with the Greek Freak Giannis? Then you're like, okay, well, got to fill out the rest of your roster then, right? Who's your point guard? George Hill? Probably losing a little bit of depth there on the bench as well. Drew Holiday one is I don't know. That to me is like, and I don't think the Bucks would even want to do that type of move either. But man, it is fun to think about KD and Giannis together on the court. I think those two could work well together. I think they could. But it's not happening. It's fun to think about. It's fun to imagine. A little fantasy NBA. Thinking about the two of the best players in the league on your favorite team in Milwaukee and trying to go for another championship. It's not going to happen. There's no way that can happen. And I think, honestly, it's just a little bit of like, we're checking in, seeing what's going to cost. According to the piece in The Athletic, I know you got to pay to read it, but if in case you don't have the subscription, it was put in there that Milwaukee and the Nuggets also inquired with the Nets in late June, early July to gauge the price tag, according to sources. And John Horst is doing his due diligence. All right, I'm gonna call it up, see what's the cost. Oh, that's the cost. That's the going rate for Kevin Durant right now. Okay, a little too rich for our blood, but if that price goes down, give us a shout. Maybe John Horst might check in a little bit later on. Hey, what's that price tag like? Got any 20% off deals going on? You got a coupon code or anything like that when it comes to making this deal? He's doing his job. How many times do you think? I mean, I think we tend to maybe overreact a lot to these reports or these rumors about teams calling on another player when really it's just like, hey, what's the price? Oh, okay. Thanks. Good chat. It was like yesterday. I was listening a little bit to Pat McAfee, and he was talking to Ian Rappaport, and they were talking about Tom Brady. And, the whole thing that came over the weekend, Dana White saying that John Gruden kiboshed a deal that would have brought Tom Brady and Gronk to the Raiders. Like it was close, but then John Gruden kiboshed it. And, like Pat was like, I can't believe all these teams who didn't have any interest in Tom Brady when he was a free agent and, all that stuff. And it was a point by Ian Rappaport said, typically a free agent, a top-tier free agent might only get 2 or 3 offers. And Tom Brady got a couple of offers. So that's normal. And if you think about it, it makes sense because, well, you probably, there might be a boatload of teams that call. There might be double-digit teams that called. But we get so focused on, like, the minor parts, like, oh, what? Only 2 teams offered a contract to Tom Brady? But like Ian said, a bunch of teams called. They found out the price tag. All right. There's probably only a couple teams that could afford to go with that price tag or were willing to go with that price tag. So when you hear like a free agent, only 2 or 3 offers, like that's it? Well, you're kind of, doing the due process, weeding out the non-contenders, and let's get in the real contenders. And it's probably only 2 or 3 that are willing to go out there and do deals like that. And I think it's kind of similar to this case. Bucks made a call. Yeah, it was just doing their due diligence. Price tag. All right. Are they serious contenders? Probably not. More likely not. Still fun to think about. It ain't happening. All right. Let's take a quick break and we'll chat some more green and gold football. But my question to you all, do you get more excited for the start of college football season or the start of the NFL season? Hit me up with some text. All right, peeps?
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more from brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
Do you remember the countless times when you were young and playing in the backyard, daydreaming of playing against or with your favorite athlete, or imagining yourself chasing your dreams and experiencing life the way you're supposed to? That's how we came up with a name for Backyard Dreams. Backyard Dreams is WAYY Sports Talk 105.1 790 AM's charitable entity. We have 5 main goals for Backyard Dreams: to provide and promote opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play, to help anyone overcome obstacles to chase their dreams, to help raise awareness for those in need, to help create opportunities for those to enjoy their passions, and to help those enjoy their life and create special memories. It doesn't matter if you are a child, teen, or an adult. Backyard Dreams wants to help anyone. For more information, success stories about Backyard Dreams, and if you know someone who could benefit from Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com and click on the Backyard Dreams tab. Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number one on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason, anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
The shortest sports betting drive from the Twin Cities is the Book Sports Betting Lounge at St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake. Sports betting in person, great food, craft beverages, VIP seating, and 360-degree theater and the round viewing on giant HD TVs. You gotta see it to believe it. Sports betting is now legal at the Book. More at GoPlayWin.com. Just a short drive away. St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake. Find your fortune.
If you were to listen to Dan Kasper nonstop around the clock for a solid month, you'd become the king of all sports fans, desired by beautiful women, and rich beyond your dreams. I think. Try it and let's see. The Dan Kasper Show.
River Country Co-op wants to help you put some gas in your tank. It's the River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass giveaway. The River Country Co-op Cenex Small Town Gas Pass giveaway of the week. For this week, you've got the Sheldon and the Eau Claire 3rd Street stores. So head on over to the Sheldon and the Eau Claire 3rd Street stores this week only to register to win a $50 gas card. No purchase necessary. Don't miss out on your chance to win some free gas, peeps. Head to these River Country Co-op Scenic stores now to enter. Get in there, grab some snacks for the road trip. We stopped at the Edgar one a couple times heading over to Green Bay and such. So fill up the tank and grab some snacks for the road. The Honorable Travis from A-Town chiming in. Preach, brother. Let's go, crew. Good to hear from the Honorable Travis from A-Town here this morning. Let's continue our conversation on the green and gold as we are heading into the final preseason game on Thursday. Imagine this is the final practice of the preseason too, unless they do a little bit of a walkthrough tomorrow before they head to Kansas City for Thursday night's game. We'll chat with Joe DeGuano here. Joe, looking at, let's first recap the second preseason game, the win over the Saints. The question that we always ask after every preseason game, what'd you think of Jordan Love?
It's basically Groundhog Day, right? When we talked about preseason in the Green Bay Packers.
Exactly.
So, yep. I thought Jordan Love looked good. Again, he's improving, and you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you know, I have not been a fan, but we talked about it last week. I mean, he's more decisive back there. He threw some really nice. He had a couple of really nice wow throws in the game, and so are you seeing improvement? Are you seeing an NFL quarterback growing up? I think so. And again, you and I talked about it last week, and Rodgers actually talked about it this past week. The influence of Tom Clements at the quarterback position, whether or not you are a future surefire first ballot Hall of Famer like Aaron Rodgers, or if you're a rookie struggling in the NFL like Jordan Love. But I thought Jordan Love played well. Again, there were a couple of throws, especially the one to Winfrey, that was just absolutely dropping a dime. And so I think Green Bay right now, I feel comfortable in saying that they have a good backup quarterback this year. And again, I don't know what else he's going to bring. And no one does. No one knows if Jordan Love can go out and win you 10, 11, 12 games in a football season. But can he go out in a fill-in position right now? And I think Green Bay Packer fans should feel comfortable about that backup quarterback position. Absolutely.
The question I asked yesterday, I'll ask you. If Green Bay is only going to keep 6 wide receivers, like Goody and LaFleur say, we're only going to keep 6 for whatever reasons. It's down to Amari Rodgers and Juwan Winfrey. Do you go with the guy that Aaron Rodgers has already said he trusts in Winfrey, or do you go with Amari Rodgers, second year, maybe the ceiling's a little bit higher? Which one do you go with?
You know, here's the thing. It's Jake Kummerow all over again. Rodgers talked about Jake Kummerow, and then the next day he's cut. And Rodgers talking about Juwan Winfrey now. And then the Packers decide to move on him. Yeah, personally, if I'm the GM, all right, and you've invested a third-round pick. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but if you've invested a third-round pick on a second-year player, you probably keep that guy, all right, because you've invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy into this kid. But I think Ron Wolf, that's what I was always impressed about, is Ron Wolf was able to move on from draft mistakes very quickly. And I would tip my hat to Gutekunst this year if he ended up keeping Winfrey over Amari Rodgers. Now, Green Bay's in a situation where again they've got some tough decisions to make at positions like wide receiver. But right now, after the Kummerow thing and after Rodgers and everything, if it's between those two, I'd probably keep Winfrey. But again, if I'm the GM and I'm the one that invested the time, the money, and my reputation's on the line, I'd probably keep Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, and Goody kind of did that with Jamon Moore. I mean, Jamon Moore, fourth-round pick, I know, but he never saw the field in the regular season game because he had an awful preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't say that Amari Rodgers has had an awful preseason. I think he's actually showing something, especially, and you look at skill sets. When you're putting together that wide receiver room, you look at skill sets. And I really like the slimmed down version of Amari Rodgers on the jet sweep and those types of plays. I think that can become such a valuable return to this offense. You just haven't seen it. LaFleur's first year, that was such a big part of the offense, and you just haven't seen it as prevalent. And I think Rodgers is built better for that. And so when you're piecing together the puzzle pieces of that wide receiver room, you've got to take that in consideration as well.
Amari, I saw the numbers. He's played 50 snaps on the offensive side so far in his preseason, just 7 targets and 4 catches. I feel like we, Packers fans, or even maybe others out there, what Romeo Doubs is doing in the preseason training camp, we expected that from Amari Rodgers, or we were hoping to see that from Amari Rodgers this year.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Look, I was running some numbers on, again, rookie wide receivers of the Green Bay Packers, and really kind of nondescript production from most rookies coming in. And that's true for a lot of the NFL. Now, again, I think you're seeing the tide turning a little bit on that. And so you're seeing rookie wide receivers really coming in and being able to produce. But I look at Greg Jennings, and I look at Romeo Doubs, and I look at Christian Watson, and I say, okay, let's look at Greg Jennings, his rookie year. Greg Jennings, 45 catches, 632 yards, 3 TDs. You know what? I think if Green Bay gets that out of one or even maybe possibly both of those rookie wide receivers, I think the fan base needs to be ecstatic about that production from a rookie wide receiver, because then you compare Jennings' numbers to guys like Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one thing to note about that Greg Jennings situation, I dug into the stats a little bit deeper on him. It took over 100 targets to get those 45 catches. And so when you're at a catch percentage of hovering around 40%, that's not great. But that tells you that Favre kept on going back to him, that Favre at that time kept on giving him the ball and giving him opportunities. And so I think it's going to be the same situation this year. And again, we're seeing Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, especially Doubs because he's been playing, but day in, day out in practice, he's going up with arguably the best secondary in football. And so, you know, it's one of those things where iron sharpens iron. And I love the fact that day in, day out, Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson go up against Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Rasul Douglas. I think it's great, and I think it's only going to make them better.
Zach Tom is one of 2 offensive rookie tackles so far in preseason with a minimum of 25 snaps to not allow a single pressure. It's kind of a fair foul question. By the end of the regular season, by the end of the postseason, when we're hosting a Lombardi Trophy, Zach Tom will be a starting offensive lineman with this group at some point during the season.
No, I'll buy into that. Look, your 5 best linemen are going to play. And it's really interesting that Tom has outplayed Sean Ryan, the 3rd rounder from UCLA, night and day. And so the 5 best are going to play. And I think right now, I think John Runyon Jr. is your left guard. I think Josh Myers is your center. If Elton Jenkins can go, I think he's your right tackle. And then left tackle is going to be probably between Josh Nijman and Bakhtiari. And so maybe it's that right guard position. But there's no question that Zach Tom, he reminded me a lot of Jenkins coming out with his flexibility and his athleticism. And it's showing true because this is a guy that you can plug and play at almost any position on the offensive line.
Joe DeGuano joining us here this morning. So when you look at Bakhtiari off the PUP list, it's huge because barring a setback, knock on wood, he's going to be on the 53. You can't put him back on the PUP. You can put him on the IR, but doubt they're going to do that. The timing of this is kind of interesting to me because I feel like Green Bay feels like he's going to play within a couple weeks. Otherwise, you keep him on the PUP and he only misses 4 weeks. It's different this year. So you look at it, Bakhtiari's 53, Jenkins, we know the starters. Do they carry 9? Do they carry 10 offensive linemen? I feel like, you carry 10 because the new rule, remember, you can carry 48 or you can dress 48 as long as that 8th person is an offensive lineman. You can dress 8 offensive linemen. So if it's 10, do you go with the mammoth Caleb Jones, who's 6'9", who's had a really good preseason? Or do you go with Cole Van Lanen, the former Badger?
I go with the big man. And because I think you talked about it earlier with receivers, you talk about ceiling and who's got a higher ceiling. And I just think that Jones has a higher ceiling than Van Lanen. And again, I think Van Lanen's a guy that you could probably, I believe he might have practice squad options left, I believe. And so I think there's a guy that you probably put there. But when you see a guy that can move at that size, and again, I'll talk about Josh Nijman. I mean, you look at the feet of some of these offensive linemen and their ability to move at their size and their athleticism, and you just can't coach that. You can't teach that. So I think it's you got to go at that point with the guy with the bigger ceiling. But I got to tell you, I do love the depth and the ability of the Green Bay Packers to continually find guys that either middle to late round draft choices or undrafted guys that step in and produce in the NFL.
You know, I was talking about it earlier this morning with the offensive line. I know that was a big concern in the offseason heading into the preseason and training camp. The depth can, you know, do they have enough? Well, now we got Elton coming back. You got Bach coming back. We've seen the play of Zach Tom. I mean, and Yash getting the experience. I know it's maybe a little bit of blind faith, but I kind of like the depth on this. I know they're young, they're inexperienced, but I like the potential with the depth of this offensive line.
Yeah, it's young depth, and you and I were talking about this offseason. You know, do you bring a Dennis Kelly in? Do you look for that veteran swing tackle? And I think the answer is no. I don't think you need to at this point. And I think again, it goes back to the job that Stenavich before this year and Luke Butkus have done to grow that position. And again, I tip my hat because, and you and I talked about this a lot, that we didn't know what we had. Green Bay didn't know what they had. Fans didn't know what we had when we were looking at the hiring of Adam Stenavich, a guy that didn't have a lot of experience. And then Luke Butkus as his assistant. And the job that they've been able to do to grow offensive linemen, it's impressive. And again, I think Green Bay is going to be fine on that offensive line, especially with the news. And you're right, with Bakhtiari being activated. That's huge news, Green Bay. That is absolutely huge news because I think that does signal that he's going to be playing sooner than later. And I said it to a couple of buddies this weekend. I said, I think Bakhtiari ends up playing probably somewhere around 12 or 13 games if there's no other setbacks this year. And so I see him coming back probably during that first quarter of the NFL season.
So looking at this final preseason game Thursday, Rasul Douglas maybe let it slip a little bit that the defense was going to play. He said that in practice yesterday. But, you know, outside of that, jobs will be won. Maybe jobs will be lost in this third preseason game. What are the position groups that you're going to be paying attention to against the Chiefs where potentially jobs can be won with really good performances?
You know, you got to look at that outside linebacker position. And it still wouldn't surprise me if the third outside linebacker isn't on the roster yet. I mean, look, it wouldn't surprise me if a guy like Whitney Merciless decides to come out of retirement if he finds the right opportunity. So I think that third outside linebacker, building some depth there, I think is going to be important. I think looking at the safety position, you've already got some injuries back there now and some concern. And so who can step up and do you need to make a move there? Because I think those are two positions where if Green Bay sees somebody on the waiver wire, I think they go after him. And so I think those are key positions. And look, I don't know what Tyler Davis has done as far as, you know, what pictures he has right now, but this is a guy he's playing himself off this roster. And the bottom line is, if he doesn't have a great game, and this was a guy that specifically both Gutekunst and LaFleur have been talking about all off season, if he doesn't specifically make a big move in this game, I think you got to start looking at that tight end depth position, because the question is, again, another injury situation with Bobby Tunyon. You just don't know. You've already cut Dominique Daphne, and the Packers reached an injury settlement with him. And so now he's basically going to be talking to other teams. And so you got to decide where are you going to go if Bobby Tunyon isn't there on opening day against Minnesota, because that tight end depth is concerning as well. So those are three areas that you want to see. And again, you want to see the continued improvement of Jordan Love, because you want to continue to stack performances and stack games so you can build on those. So those are the things I'm looking for. And just as always, like any preseason game, no injuries.
Yeah. Tyler Davis has stunk so far, man.
He's horrible.
Oh, man. I mean, I think he's the lowest rated Packer player the first 2 games of the preseason.
Yes, yep, absolutely. Yeah, he's just there's been nothing there to say, yeah, we're going to continue to try to ride this guy. There's just not. And the game looks too big for him. And I understand he's a converted quarterback, wide receiver, playing the tight end position. The Packers like his athleticism, and without Bobby Tunyon, there's no other tight end on the roster like Tunyon or Davis. But at this point in time, it's crazy that he's still on the roster at this point.
Any concern about Mason Crosby being ready for week 1?
Absolutely. With all the kickers, I think at some point you and I were about 7th or 8th on the list because they brought 4 or 5 kickers in this week. And so, yeah, that's a huge concern that maybe Mason Crosby's knee and the age and just everything, maybe it's a little bit more serious than we initially thought. And so, yeah, I think there's a big chance that Mason Crosby might not be the kicker game 1.
All right. Final question for you. Are you changing your mind on any surprise cuts? I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago leading into the preseason. Are you willing to put maybe Amari Rodgers on there or anybody else at this point?
No, I don't think so. I think this thing's going to shake out pretty consistently with where we thought it was going to be. And, I think that I don't think I just don't. Now look, if a guy becomes available and Green Bay can go out and get him, maybe a surprise cut from another team, then yeah, maybe you might see something fall as far as the dominoes at that point. But I just don't see it. I think most of your spots are locked up, and I just don't see any huge surprise cuts this year.
Actually, I have one more. Do you play the starters on Thursday night, or is it an overreaction from last year's Saints game?
I'd take the temperature of the locker room, but after hearing Rasul Douglas and the rest of the players and Rodgers talk too about, look, if you're going to play us, play us. Don't put us out there for 3 plays. So I don't think it's an overreaction, but I think this team wants to play. I think the starters want to be out there, and I think you put them out there. And again, I go back and forth every year. It depends on the year, but I think this year you play your starters and you play your primary guys, and let the chips fall where they may. But no injuries. But yeah, I'd play him this Thursday.
Almost feel like the offense at some point maybe needs to go up against a different defense just to gain some confidence because they get dominated by their own defense in practice.
Yeah, I got to tell you that is interesting to see and hear what's been happening on the camp this year, and that just makes you even more excited. Look, Green Bay's defense is going to be better than the offense. I think more consistent when the season starts. I think at the end of the year, though, I think this offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders because guys are going to be settling in at that point, and roles are going to be defined, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'd almost rather have the defense ahead of the offense to start the year, and then the offense pick things up towards the back half of the year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. Hey, good to catch up with you, sir. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll catch up again next week, okay?
Absolutely. One quick thing. Congrats again. Last week, Eau Claire Memorial, big win. And getting ready for this week. So high school football, Friday Night Lights, all into it. And again, it's football every day coming up soon here, Captain, where it's basically every night of the week or day of the week we'll have football.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, dude. Peace out, bro. Have a good one.
All right, man. Have a good one.
There you go. There's Joe DeGuano joining us here this morning. We got to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll finish up the second hour. We got some Badger chat. We got some college football chat coming up in the next hour. RJ Gardner, inching closer to kickoff there. What gets you more excited? College football, pro football. We'll get you updated on that informal poll on the Texan line.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Do you remember the countless times when you were young and playing in the backyard, daydreaming of playing against or with your favorite athlete, or imagining yourself chasing your dreams and experiencing life the way you're supposed to? That's how we came up with a name for Backyard Dreams. Backyard Dreams is WAYY Sports Talk 105.1 790 AM's charitable entity. We have 5 main goals for Backyard Dreams: to provide and promote opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play, to help anyone overcome obstacles to chase their dreams, to help raise awareness for those in need, to help create opportunities for those to enjoy their passions, and to help those enjoy their life and create special memories. It doesn't matter if you are a child, teen, or an adult. Backyard Dreams wants to help anyone. For more information, success stories about Backyard Dreams, and if you know someone who could benefit from Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com and click on the Backyard Dreams tab. Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number 1 on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back? That MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason. Anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire. Mark your calendars for August 27th through the 28th because it's time for the 5th annual Wissota Open at the Lake Wissota Golf Course. This tournament is a 2-person team net best ball style, and first place winner receives $2,000, second place winner receives $1,000, and third place receives $500. Plus, the low gross score wins $500. Sign up your team now for $350 per team. Just visit wissota.golf for more information and to register your team for the 5th annual Wissota Open.
Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. We're passionate about continuing on our mission to help more Wisconsin businesses create more success. If you have any questions about our best-in-class insurance products or just want a second opinion about your insurance or employee benefits, I invite you to check out ANSI.com, or better yet, give us a call at Yancey & Associates. And let's have a conversation about your business and how we can help you secure, protect, and grow your version of the American dream.
I was 53, divorced, and ready to get back out there. I was unsure about dating sites, but I signed up for Silver Singles and quickly met Lily.
Mark and Lily rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want.
Lily's a lover of the great outdoors like me, and we instantly connected over it.
If you're like Mark and want to rediscover that feeling, sign up today at silversingles.com/love. That's silversingles.com/love.
Because you have high standards and won't settle for anything less, like your wife did. It's the Dan Kasper Show.
All right, finishing up the second hour. We got about 6 minutes. Yeah, 5-6 minutes. Not till the top here. Hey, your Carpet City Flooring Center outdoor tidbit for this morning. I saw this a couple days ago. Wisconsin high school bass anglers land top honors on a national championship. So it was the Bassmaster High School National Championship. It was held at Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. And it was the Northeast Wisconsin Bass Club. Members of the Northeast Wisconsin Bass Club took first place in the high school Bassmaster tournament. So Scotty representing on the Bassmaster Trail. So congratulations to those kiddos over there. That's gotta be freaking awesome to see that. But I saw that a couple days ago over the weekend. It was a co-op called the Northeast Wisconsin Bass Club. It could accept anglers throughout their region in Northeast Wisconsin. So congratulations to those kids. It was like just kind of reading a little bit more about these kids around the Hortonville area. No one in the Hortonville School District had any experience with Bassmaster or any other interscholastic bass fishing program. But awesome. Cool. I know we got quite a few local fishing clubs, high school fishing clubs. Man, I wish that thing was around when I was in high school. That would have been a lot of fun. To do that. But I know we got some local ones around here, whether it's like the summer, spring fishing, or even ice fishing and that, but still kind of a cool thing to see. So that's your Carpet City Flooring Center outdoor tidbit for this morning. Coming up next hour, we'll get to some college football talk with RJ Cardinal. You get more excited for high school, or excuse me, do you get more excited for, I guess you could throw high school in there, but for our turn 2 question, do you get more excited for the start of the college football season or the start of the pro football season? Updated, quick, informal poll on our texting line. You can give us your answer at 715-830-1912. It's probably 55-45 now. 55-45, 55 in favor of pro football, I would say. So just shoot me a text with NFL or NCAA or however you want to do it. But just kind of looking at all the responses, I would say earlier it was about 60, but it's gotten down a little bit more. I'd say about 55. And, Surveyor kind of, talking about his reasons why he went with college football. And I was thinking about this too the other day. I saw something about like college football traditions and that. We know the Badgers have a great one, right? Jump around in that. But what if we kind of like did a Wisconsin tradition? What is your favorite Wisconsin tradition out there? I'm talking not just sports. What's your favorite Wisconsin tradition? Is it the Friday fish fries? Is it the opener of deer season? Is it jump around? Is it Lambeau leaping at Lambeau Field? What is your favorite Wisconsin tradition? If I get a good list, I've got an idea for a project for everybody. Or a little, not contest, but a little fun little segment. So what are you, I'm coming up with a list. Your favorite Wisconsin traditions of all time, or whatever they are right now. Threw a few of them out there. Is it, those Friday fish fries? Is it old fashions? Is it opener of deer season? Is it Lambeau leaps? Is it jump around? What are your favorite Wisconsin traditions? So hit me up either on the Shoe Doctors texting line, 715-830-1912, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports, Twitter at DANKASPER. Favorite Scotty traditions. Okay, we got some good ones in this great state of ours. So let's add that list on there. Okay, so coming up, well, like I said, we'll chat some college football with RJ Cardinal. Brewers, are you going to pick, Brewers fans, you going to pick a win tonight with Corbin Burns on the mound? Brewers win tonight. They win the series. Heck, they'll win the season series against the Dodgers. How about that? Not going to mean anything, though, if they lose to the Cubs and Pirates and Reds and Diamondbacks and Rockies after this, but I already went on that rant for Grind My Gears Tuesday. But are anybody going to pick? I know G-Man's probably going to pick them. But anybody going to pick a Brewers win tonight with Corbin Burns on the mound? Late night game? Hit me up with a yay or a nay. So we'll get back to some Brewers chat in the next hour. Packers chat too. We'll hit that up. Should be the last preseason practice, unless they do a little bit of a walkthrough before their game Thursday. Then it's going to be decision time after Thursday for Goody and the Matt LaFleur and the Packers. What is their 53-man roster going to look like? All right, 2 in, 1 to go. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to finish up this Tuesday show.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. Sports Talk 105.1 with the very latest local news.
Well, the gavel is dropped for a jewel thief. It's a little more than 4 years in prison for an Ohio man who admitted to stealing $4 million in jewels from a Wisconsin shop. A judge last week sentenced James Quinn to 57 months in federal prison. This was for a robbery at Trevor and Straub Jewelers in Brookfield in July of 2016. Prosecutors say Quinn and at least 2 others broke into the store by cutting a hole in the wall, breaching the safe, and then making off with the jewels. From Public Health, there's now a case of monkeypox in Dunn County. Public Health managers confirming that yesterday. It's the county's first case. No one's saying who has the virus or how they got it, but the CDC yesterday said there are 43 cases across Wisconsin. If you're interested in more info from the CDC and public health officials, 715newsroom.com. Taking a peek into the political stage, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson says his involvement in an effort to pass a slate of fake electors to Vice President Mike Pence was brief, not something he'd need to testify about before that January 6th committee.
I had nothing to do with the alternate slate. I had no idea that anybody was going to ask me to deliver those. My involvement in that attempt to deliver spanned the course of a couple seconds.
That was in an interview on WISN's Up Front. The Wisconsin Republican called media reporting on the matter a, quote, grotesque distortion, end quote. Johnson is running for that third term and, of course, faces Democrat Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes in November. Speaking of the ballots, the August election will become official later today as the state's Elections Commission is set to certify the canvass from the August 9th primary here in Wisconsin. The votes have all been counted and in some cases recounted. Election managers expect that final vote count to show a record turnout for a primary election. If you're looking for something new, they're looking to add a badge at Chippewa Falls Police Department. The city yesterday said there's an opening to hire another officer. Police Chief Matt Kelm says back in 2012, they saw nearly 100 applications for one open position. That was down to 5 the last time that Chippewa Falls went looking for a new officer. You can find more info online. Click right to Chippewa Falls, and when you go at 715newsroom.com. Ever wonder what some people are thinking? Well, let's get inside of the brain of Elon Musk. He says his Neuralink neurotechnology company is ready to show the world more of its work on brain implants. What, Mark?
On Monday, Musk tweeted that Neuralink will put on a show and tell progress event on October 31st. Musk didn't provide any hints about what to expect, but Neuralink's last big demonstration involved a monkey playing Pong through a brain-computer interface. Tech industry analysts expect something similar at the Halloween event. I'm Mark Mayfield.
If you're working on your golf swing for the Casper Classic on Friday, just letting you know, Dan's had some weird ideas this year. For instance, he said he wanted to
Involved a monkey playing Pong through a brain-computer interface.
For Sports Talk 105.1. I'm Morgan McCarthy.
A few locations will once again start off the morning with a bit of patchy fog, but we'll have abundant sunshine today, even more than yesterday. Now, that said, it'll allow us to warm up a little bit more this afternoon, as we can expect to top out mostly in the mid-80s. Later on tonight, mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions, with temperatures dropping to about the low 60s. But then tomorrow brings us a couple chances at some showers and storms into the afternoon, with increasing clouds throughout the morning and temperatures into the low 80s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike Dandria.
All right, golfers, do you want to simply survive around the greens, or do you want to score? Well, you want to score. You need a wedge that will help you. Purest spin possible. The new Jaws Raw from Callaway. Most aggressive groove in golf. Now with the Raw face, delivers maximum one hop and stop spin. Optimized tungsten weighting, and you get noticeably better control and trajectory. All around better wedge play. It's the Jaws Raw. Get yours at CallawayGolf.com/Jaws Raw.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary. You knew it! In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports. Let's go for it! Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it. You can't handle the truth! Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time! Prime time!
All right, third and final hour on this Tuesday morning. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in, chiming in on this Grind My Gears Tuesday, August 23rd. Whether you're listening to us on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online at sportstalk1051.com, where you can also get the link for the YouTube live video stream, or you can get it on Twitter too. You got the Sports Talk app in your Google and Alexa home devices. Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Hit us up with some text, 715-830-1912. It's about now up to 60-40 in terms of people more excited about the NFL opener compared to the start of the college football season. Also, I'm looking for, what are your favorite Scotty traditions? What are your favorite Wisconsin traditions? Huh? What do you got? You got the Lambeau Leaps. You got the jump arounds. You've got the fried fish fries. You've got the opener of deer season. You got opener of deer right now is, I would just say, leading the texting line, right? So G-Man's going with the Kasper Classic as his favorite Wisconsin tradition. That a boy. You know what I mean? That a boy. So, but you can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the texting line if you want to partake in that poll. I'm trying to get a list going here because I got an idea on something. I don't want to give it away, but I got an idea. Okay, an idea's man. I thrive on enthusiasm. Okay, I need you guys. Name the movie. Name the movie again. Extra credit point. Brewers. You picking them to win tonight with Corbin Burns on the mound? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? You gonna do it? Got Gonsolin on the other side, 15-1. Brewers win today. They win the series. They win the season series against the Dodgers. How about that? A little fun fact. Packers will be practicing today. Aaron Rodgers, I know we played a little bit of a clip from him in the first hour there. But he also missed this part. But the pre-practice jog through, I stepped into the huddle the other day. It was Big Giraffe at left, David Bakhtiari. Elton over at right. Big Dog was in there, Mercedes Lewis. Sammy and Cobb and Allen and Jonesy, and I was like, this feels like a pretty good offense right here. You agree with him? Yay or nay? Thumbs up or down? Agree with Aaron there? I know a few of you have sent this to me, and I saw it on Twitter last night. And if you have Twitter, you've probably seen it. But the video that is going all across the social media wave, it looks like to be a Yankees fan who has a beer, looks like he's holding a straw, okay? And he got a hot dog, no bun, but he's like sticking the straw through the hot dog. And what he's doing is he's converting this hot dog into a straw itself, and then he puts the dog in the beer, uses the dog as a straw to drink his beer. So this is like has exploded on the Twitter sphere. Few of you have sent it to me throughout the morning. Couple of you sent it to me last night on Twitter. Hey, see this? C-Bomb was one of them. Few other doing that thing. I've come up with some interesting, weird, disgusting food and drink combos in my life, but this is something special here. I don't know what. I mean, maybe he likes the taste of a cold beer coming through a hot dog. I don't know. There's got to be a story to this. I hope they find out who this person is and maybe get a little bit of a background on this. But shout out to the person who got their phone out. They're witnessing this thing and recorded it, and it's all over. But yeah, dude sucking a beer through the straw with the hot dog. Now I've heard that you can get a little tipsy quicker when you drink beer through a straw, but I mean, foregoing the straw and actually doing it with the hot dog, maybe he wanted a little bit of extra flavor with the beer. I don't know, but I mean, holy moly, what is this? Well, what's going on here? Anybody? I gotta ask: has anybody done this? Has anybody tried it? I mean, come on now, this is something. The rest of you have seen this, right? You've seen it going across Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't, I mean, you could go ahead and check it. But no, I wouldn't. I mean, it's more weird to me than just like disgusting. It's more weird to me, like, huh? Because it's a dog and a beer. It's a dog and a beer. So it's like it's not like mixing some weird, like, okay, like mixing milk and Kool-Aid together or some barf thing like that. But what is like the weirdest food combination you have ever had or drink combination you have ever had? One time I was in college, I thought I was cool. I made my own shot. It was Jaeger and tequila. Disgusting. We'll never do it again. But, you're 21, 22, and you're thinking it's the greatest thing in the world. You go to the bars, give me a Terminator shot. That's what I called it, Terminator. Jaeger, tequila. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Never do it again. But, whew. Beer on cereal, Jeff? I don't think you're the only one on that one. I don't think you're the only one there. On purpose or on accident, though? That's the key question. Yeah, a few more going with the deer opener for the best Wisconsin or your favorite Wisconsin tradition so far. Keep these picks coming. As one texter here says, at the price of a stadium hot dog, why? That's a good question. That's a good question. Why? And this is a New York game, so gotta imagine a little bit more pricier. Maybe. I'm just assuming. Jeff out of milk was hungry. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, that's a good one. Anybody else have any disgusting food? What kind of cereal, Jeff? I think that's the question at hand. What kind of cereal? And what kind of brewskis was it? What kind of combination? All right. Okay. Tell you what. You know what? I think we could throw tailgating into a. Can we throw? Would you say tailgating? I know tailgating is a nationwide thing, but I mean tailgating for Wisconsin sports is a good tradition, right? You had a couple people throw in tailgating as their favorite tradition. I think that's acceptable. I'll allow it. All right, tell you what, let's still looking for your picks for your predictions for the game tonight. Brewers, Dodgers, you got to pick a Brewers win. Yay or nay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's about 50-50 right now. We're going to talk a little bit, get back to a little bit more Packers talk. What are your expectations for these rookie wide receivers? Aaron Rodgers talked a little bit yesterday about him. He says he sees improvement from the young wide receivers. But what is a realistic expectation for both Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson? And how much has it changed since those two were initially drafted by the Packers? Are you maybe putting more expectation, more on the plate for Romeo Doubs based on how well he has played in preseason and training camp, how good he's looked? Has that expectation kind of, that bar risen a little bit more, a little bit higher? Like, all right, Ceiling was pretty low, but we're going to raise it up a little bit because we've been seeing some positive stuff. Christian Watson, maybe it's still fairly low, or maybe it's actually a little bit lower because of his injury and getting off to a late start in camp. But we heard from Aaron Rodgers a little bit earlier say, he's made a couple of good big plays. His last couple practices have been pretty solid. Boosted confidence. So, what are some realistic expectations for you for these two rookie wide receivers for the Packers? And how much have they changed since the end of April when they were drafted? So hit me up with some text, 715-830-1912. Brat stands. That's a good one too. Brat stands. I'll be late for Sunday Mass if I see a brat stand on the way there. Evil Surveyor Sam. That's a good one too. That's a good one. I want to make a huge list, okay? Huge list. So keep texting these babies on over. Got an idea I'm working on, but I need your help. All right. We'll take a quick break, and then coming up, we'll talk some college football. RJ Cardinal, the Zone in Madison, he's up next.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Do you remember the countless times when you were young and playing in the backyard, daydreaming of playing against or with your favorite athlete, or imagining yourself chasing your dreams and experiencing life the way you're supposed to? That's how we came up with a name for Backyard Dreams. Backyard Dreams is WAYY Sports Talk 105.1 790 AM's charitable entity. We have 5 main goals for Backyard Dreams: to provide and promote opportunities for anyone to have a chance to play, to help anyone overcome obstacles to chase their dreams, to help raise awareness for those in need, to help create opportunities for those to enjoy their passions, and to help those enjoy their life and create special memories. It doesn't matter if you are a child, teen, or an adult. Backyard Dreams wants to help anyone. For more information, success stories about Backyard Dreams, and if you know someone who could benefit from Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com and click on the Backyard Dreams tab.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Fall is fast approaching. Football, leaves falling, cooler nights and mornings, and hunting season. It's time to get ready for hunting season, people. You've waited all winter, spring, and summer for this, and Tilden Gun has been waiting for you. You looking for a shotgun for turkey, duck, or bird hunting? How about a new rifle for deer or bear hunting? Tilden Gun has the best selection in the area and at the best prices. Tilden Gun is your best spot to get ready for the upcoming 2022 hunting season. Now, from experience, I've gotten my new turkey shotgun and my new deer rifle from Tilden Gun. And I ain't kidding when I said it was the best price that I found. And you want to talk about the selection? Tilden Gun easily had the best selection of firearms. I can't tell you how many people have told me that Tilden Gun was the only place that could find the certain firearm they were looking for. So what the heck are you waiting for? Visit TildenGun.com to look for your new hunting firearm today. Mark your calendars for August 27th through the 28th because it's time for the 5th annual Wissota Open at the Lake Wissota Golf Course. This tournament is a two-person team net best ball style, and first place winner receives $2,000, second place winner receives $1,000, and third place receives $500. Plus, the low gross score wins $500. Sign up your team now for $350 per team. Just visit wissota.golf for more information and to register your team for the 5th annual Wissota Open. Fall is fast approaching. Football, leaves falling, cooler nights and mornings, and hunting season. It's time to get ready for hunting season, people. You've waited all winter, spring, and summer for this, and Tilden Gun has been waiting for you. You looking for a shotgun for turkey, duck, or bird hunting? How about a new rifle for deer or bear hunting? Tilden Gun has the best selection in the area and at the best prices. Tilden Gun is your best spot to get ready for the upcoming 2022 hunting season. I know from experience. I've gotten my new turkey shotgun and my new deer rifle from Tilden Gun. And I ain't kidding when I said it was the best price that I found. And you want to talk about the selection? Tilden Gun easily had the best selection of firearms. I can't tell you how many people have told me that Tilden Gun was the only place that could find the certain firearm they were looking for. So what the heck are you waiting for? Visit tildengun.com to look for your new hunting firearm today.
He may not be the smartest sports talk host, but darn it, he gives 110% every time. Now here's your host, Dan Kasper.
Less than a couple weeks away till kickoff for the Badger football team. Reminder, they open up their season against Illinois State at Camp Randall. Washington State coming over the following week, New Mexico State, and then they go on the road for the first time September 24th against Ohio State. Continuing to break down this Badger football team with our dude, Mr. R.J. Cardinal. How you doing there, big guy? You getting ready for kickoff here? You got any plans? Working on them yet? What's the plan for opening day for you?
Well, it always depends on what time the game's at. So, usually for 11 o'clock and 2:30 games, it's always head down to Mickey's Dairy Bar, which is right across Monroe Street and from the Field House. And then, you head back and do a little bumming around, stop at Union South, read the newspaper, get a couple of stories in from the two student newspapers as well as the State Journal and the Journal Sentinel, and then go from there. Head back to the car. Greet a couple of the people who tailgate around me, then go to the Red Zone where we have the Zone pregame show. Then there, I go after our first segment, head back towards Camp Randall and enter the game. And then at night games, it's pretty much all that just without going to breakfast because you got to be up and at Mickey's Dairy Bar before 7 a.m. to get seated right away. So, I don't need to be up for 12 hours before the game starts.
So, as we're getting closer to kick off here, RJ, I wanted to ask you about the wide receivers. And I've been seeing some talk about, another couple of good impressive days for the wide receivers. And I know we talked a little bit about, former Badger receivers last week with Pryor and such, but who are the names that Badger fans that for the rest of us should be kind of paying attention to, or who do you have your eye on this year for that Badger receiving core?
So far, it sounds like those top two are going to be Chimere DK and Skylar Bell. But after that, it sounds like the people we really should be paying attention to are Marcus Allen, the transfer from UCLA, Keontez Lewis, and Dean Ingram to round out your top five. whether, we hear from some of the other younger guys or anything like that, I don't know. But I think those 5 are going to be in a rotation that we're going to be seeing with really the top 2 getting the most snaps, at least it sounds like right now, are DK and Bell.
Now, Ingram is a converted, is it corner, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And his dad is the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Okay. So there's
But it doesn't, I don't think there's any nepotism going on there, or else, we'd be hearing a lot more of Dean Ingram being in your top 2.
Right. What about the inside linebacker? I've been seeing, there's been some rotations going on there. Are those jobs still kind of up in the air? Is that depth chart still kind of up in the air with the inside linebacker spot?
Yeah, it sounds like it as of right now. It doesn't seem like they want to be too open about who's going to be filling those slots. We just had an open practice on Sunday, along with the last media availability for fall camp, which, like I said, starting this week, they'll go into what they want to deem a normal game week kind of situation, where you start having your practices at the afternoon time, and you run this week like school's in session, and you're getting ready for a game this Saturday. I'm not sure if they'll do some kind of simulated kind of walkthrough or what on Saturday, but I assume they'll do something involving a practice just to have, it's game time, so here you go. Yeah, it's one of those, it seems like a lot of guys did well, and it's just one of those, I haven't heard too much of the inside linebackers where somebody definitely said these are the 2 clear-cut starters.
Mm-hmm. So could it be a situation where maybe it's just a rotation throughout the regular season? I mean, is that a possibility?
I think we'll see guys emerge who end up being the clear starters. And then it might be a little more of a rotation after that, in terms of actually getting snaps. And I guess that'll kind of be dictated by what kind of offense you're playing week in, week out, because, I mean, as we all know, there's some spread and hurry up kind of offenses that, will kind of take that away. But I think you'll have at least one guy who ends up being on the field and kind of that guy who's the one who calls the defenses in from the coach. But, I mean, heck, we've seen safeties do that before with guys like Dakota Dixon, who was the one who was actually the signal caller in the defensive huddle before. So, and I mean, even in the NFL, it's not always that inside linebacker who's got the dot on the back of their helmet anymore. So that kind of traditional thing isn't really there. But usually still at the college level, you see one of the inside linebackers being the one who calls that. But yeah, that's one of those positions where, and we've talked about it before, you're not really going to worry about it until you have to worry about it. And I think we've seen enough from the Wisconsin defense being able to recruit and that next guy up. It amazes me to see the next guy up be able to be the kind of player they are. They might not be as gifted and as draftable as the guy before them, but they still get in there, and when it's their time to shine, they do more than enough to be a good linebacker in the Big Ten.
2 Wisconsin Badgers were named to the AP preseason All-America team as well. Mr. Allen, no big surprise there for Braylon Allen. Then no surprise either with Nick Herbig. But with Nick, last year he came out in the scene, and I mean he looked awesome. I mean, he was a wrecking ball at outside linebacker for the Badgers. I mean, should we be expecting another jump from Nick this year on this defense, do you think?
Absolutely. That's one where, in watching him even last year, I mean, he turned into one of those guys where it was just like, see you at the quarterback kind of guys,
Mm-hmm.
And he's got that football IQ that we've talked about before in Wisconsin linebackers who seem to put themselves in playmaking spots, whether it's because their defensive coordinator puts them there, or maybe they see something and it's a combination of the two. But I think we can probably see Nick Herbig looking for better than third-team All-American at the end of this season. And it'll also be one of those, if he has that kind of breakout season as a true junior, do we see him leave early? Or does he get the news that by those draft boards, well, you're a Wisconsin linebacker, so you're not going to get drafted until after the 4th round.
Right.
Which most likely will happen. And then it's in his own hands to see if he wants to leave early or not. I think we can see a season like that out of another Wisconsin offensive linebacker where, third-team All-American right now. He's on some preseason watch lists for postseason awards. And then it'll turn into, where'd this guy come from? Because we don't pay attention. So, it's one of those. It's a well-deserved honor, but I think by the end of the season, we should be seeing him climb higher than third-team All-American.
I was looking at CBS Sports' preseason, their preseason All-American team, and I mean, there's some Big Ten representation, but I didn't see a single Wisconsin player on the first or second team on there. I mean, I look at like a Braylon Allen and Nick Herbig and ask why are they not on there? I mean, is it just again that you think Wisconsin with the respect card maybe not getting that respect? I mean, they got some Northwestern and Rutgers players on here for crying out loud.
Yeah, I saw that too. But yeah, it's one of those. I mean, heck, even you got 2 Iowa guys on the first team All-American team there. But I mean, those are kind of well deserved. I mean, we've seen those guys do a lot of good things for Iowa over the past few seasons. But yeah, I mean, I think for some of it, I mean, you talk about Northwestern, and it's one of their team leaders, their left tackle, I think it is, who's a guy who people are looking at on the draft board as being one of the top guys in the nation anyway. So, I mean, some of it's understandable, and like that one's one person, but yeah, then you look at Dak Campbell, who I believe is preseason Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and Riley Moss, who he's a pretty darn good defensive back that we've seen. And I mean, Ohio State, they're at that point where they got the depth where even a guy who might have been the third receiver last year is got All-American type numbers in him. It's a little surprising, I'm a little surprised by Herbig being on the third team, just because it doesn't make sense. Or is he on the second team? I thought I saw third team somewhere, but I think other places he's listed as second team. So, but I mean, it's only one of 3 Big Ten schools to have at least 2 people on the All-American list, and that's with, like we mentioned before, Ohio State and Iowa. So you're doing better than Michigan. You're doing better than Northwestern, but still, it's I think some of that because usually year in year out you have at least one offensive lineman on that list, and we don't see that this year, and I think that's partly because of the people who left, and partly because of the outside looking in perception of what the offensive line has become. And we haven't seen the development there. So, hopefully moving forward, we'll start seeing, at least one given guy on that list at least one level. And, you can get a guaranteed at least one offensive lineman on the list moving forward. And not surprising with the amount of starters Wisconsin is replacing this year. So having 2 guys on that list is always good. And I mean, heck, you even have, I think I heard Zach Heilprin, our sports director, talking about they're getting ready to maybe start a campaign this year for 0-2K for Braylon Allen reaching 2,000 yards this year.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. But I think before you actually start that, you have to see how his first month goes, and we'll see what kind of playing time and or rest he gets getting ready for that first Big Ten game at the end of September against Ohio State.
Right. Yeah. I was looking even at ESPN's top 100 players in college football. They got two Badgers. 92 was Nick, and then Braylon Allen came in at 34. But you kind of touched on it the next question. I was like, because it is surprising to not see an offensive line mentioned in any part here for Wisconsin. And kind of to your point too about the perception. But if there was an offensive lineman that maybe could kind of turn some heads and like, oh, yep, that's typical Wisconsin offensive lineman. Now, would it be a guy like Logan Brown, you think, or somebody else?
Well, I mean, it could be. We just haven't seen it. He's been injured and has gotten beat out at some positions. Am I blanking on who our center is? Oh wow, yeah, just went blank there. But that's gonna bug me now. But that your center right now is clearly your best offensive lineman, and the way the shuffling is going around, and I mean we've talked about that before too, where Bostad has said the position you got recruited for is the position you're going to be playing. Kind of crazy how that works out to not have people be out of position, and you have many sports writers now tweeting out and putting in articles. It's amazing to see how good the offensive line looks when they're playing their true positions.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that'll turn into something we see where your quarterback has more time to in the pocket when it's time to pass. Hopefully, even though, people weren't thinking the best of the O-line and how your running backs were still gaining yards, hopefully that turns into your running backs gaining more yards and people having to stack the box and open up things again for your receivers. Hopefully that turns into some of the potential that a lot of people are seeing in these receivers, and some of them were recruited that were you won some recruiting battles with other Big Ten schools against, and not just the second tier or third tier Big Ten schools you were going up against. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and I think I hate to just keep coming back to it, but I think the play of the offensive line this year will dictate how well Wisconsin does.
Mm-hmm. Was it Tippmann you were thinking of?
Yes.
Joe
Thank
Tippmann.
you. Wow.
Yep. No, you're good, man.
That's one of those. You're put right on the spot, and then
Exactly.
totally blank on a guy's name.
You're good, man. Hey, I wanted to switch over quickly before I let you go because Badger volleyball begins this week, right? I mean, they go. Was it TCU and then Baylor? They go up against this week. I know they just had their red white scrimmage. Yeah, TCU Friday, Baylor on Saturday. So I mean,
yeah, very well attended from what I hear. So that's awesome to see.
Right. So I mean, expectation. I mean, are they still thinking? Is this a team that could repeat as national champions? Do you think this year?
Yeah, you lost a few things, but you got a good recruiting class in, as well as some pretty darn good transfers coming into Wisconsin. So it's not a rebuild, it's a reload kind of thing there. And I mean, if you're not looking at it as another round to try to repeat, I mean, should we really have the season then? I mean, if this team's not thinking it, but I mean, from the Big Ten volleyball media days, which first conference to have anything outside of football or men's basketball media days was the Big Ten this summer with volleyball media days, which was pretty cool to see. Everybody's pretty much put that expectation out there to return to the national championship game and repeat as national champs. So, yeah, I mean, from everything you've seen from your returners, like I said, the incoming freshman class, as well as the ladies who transferred in to come play for Wisconsin, you have to think it's not going to be a step down from last year.
Mm-hmm. And they're coming in ranked third behind Nebraska and Texas, which and Louisville's fourth. And those are always kind of a group of teams that are always up there in the rankings, it seems like.
Yeah, and Louisville was the team they beat last year,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Nebraska has been a powerhouse forever, and so is Texas. So I mean, you're already in good company there, and I guess on paper you'll look at Nebraska and see what they bring back, and they're kind of in the same situation as Wisconsin. They've actually had some All-Americans transfer out there, and other All-Americans transferred in. So I mean, it's one of those things. We've talked about the transfer portal before in football, but it's in basketball, but it's all over the place. Where some people buried on the depth chart behind All-Americans or even All-Americans who maybe they've been told something off the course that time for you to move on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happens. So yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see what goes on here, and especially after I think what a lot of people would consider a down year last year for Nebraska. It really sounds like it'll be Wisconsin and Nebraska, but you can never forget about Penn State because that's another really good volleyball school in the Big Ten. And I think at one point we were talking last year, and there was like 9 or 10 Big Ten teams ranked in the top 20 for volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a deep conference, and we'll see how it plays out this year.
Do you think, and maybe it's just because, and I know he's really trying to change it, like Kelly Sheffield, the coach for the volleyball program, the last couple of years, it really seems like he's been very vocal and trying to get it out there and really get more exposure for women's volleyball, whether, if you follow him on Twitter or interviews or anything like that. But that seems like that's also a goal of his, is to really gain more exposure for it, for not just his team, but all of college volleyball. Is that something that you're kind of getting the gist of with Kelly Sheffield the last couple of years?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he every year talks about the amount of attention certain sports get and on ESPN, and then yet the only thing ESPN shows for volleyball really on the main network is the national semifinals and then the championship match. And he's talking about how he applauded the Big Ten Network last year for showing more volleyball games. He doesn't want the sport just destined to be on whatever plus network you're on, whether it's ESPN plus, BTN plus, to grow the sport. And I mean, it's especially in this state, look at how big girls volleyball is. It can get bigger, and that'd be awesome. But he's one of the, and I mean, maybe it's because we follow him here in the state, but he's a big mouthpiece for growing not just volleyball but girls athletics and getting them more exposure on the national level. And I mean, heck, that national championship game last year was pretty darn good volleyball, and yet that happens day in, day out, or week in, week out, however you want to look at it. And when you're one of those people at the forefront, it also kind of helps out with the recruiting. I want to come play for you because you're really the guy pushing to get you out there onto a national level. So it's awesome to see. And if he keeps doing that, and hopefully other coaches start kind of getting in on that, and we see maybe the Big 12 next year get out into their own media day for volleyball and all that kind of stuff. It's just the exposure he's trying to get out there that really is helping not only Wisconsin. They had to update upper deck of the field house, and they're now selling tickets up there. So it's awesome to see what he's doing for that program and growing it even from where it was.
Mm-hmm. And maybe kind of gets overlooked for, just how great of a coach he's been numbers wise too. I mean, his record at Wisconsin, 236 and 53. That's an 817 win percentage overall, 509 and 165. We talk about some of the coaches at UW, and Mark Johnson's been doing it for a while, but I'd put Kelly Sheffield on that top list, towards that top there too.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those, he didn't really take over a downtrodden program. Before him, Pete Waite was doing pretty darn good things here, but, the athletic department decided they need to make a change to get over that hump. And I guess technically they have. When you finally win a national championship, that's getting over the hump from, making those just playoff appearances and making it to the semifinals and finally winning a national championship. Yeah, he's up there in terms of pretty darn good coaches that are coaching here at CW right now.
I agree. All right, RJ, appreciate the time, buddy. And guess what? Next week we can actually talk about the game. Believe it or not, talk about the game. Badgers football season starting, baby.
Week 1, because this week's week 0.
Week 0, yeah, they're calling it that. I saw that. Good Lord. Hey, Nebraska and Illinois are actually favored pretty heavily, aren't they? I saw. So hey,
Nebraska over Northwestern and Illinois over Wyoming. So yeah, those will be 2 to tune into. I believe the Nebraska Northwestern kickoff is 11:30, and then Illinois and Wyoming's a 3:00 game. I think I saw. So we'll have at least 2 games to watch, and I think there's a total of 10 or 12 games tomorrow, Saturday anyway. So it'll be it's the first weekend of having college football back, so I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, me too, buddy. All right, dude, you have a good rest of the week, and we'll catch up next Tuesday, okay, sir?
Sounds good. We will see you then.
You got it. There you go. There's RJ Cardinal hopping off. Yeah, we got volleyball starting up this weekend for the Badgers. Wisconsin beating Nebraska in the championship last year. Maybe a rematch, potentially, possibly later on this year. That'd be pretty fun. Watching Badgers and Nebraska again. Ooh, yeah. All right, let's take a quick break here. Then coming up, we're going to finish up the program. We're going to be done for this Tuesday. Stick around. We'll be back after these quick words.
You're listening to The Dan Kasper Show.
Make your next hire fast with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Fantasy football season is upon us. So the question is, who's number 1 on your draft board this year? Is it that stud running back, that MVP quarterback? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. My draft board, it consists of players named Aaron, Matt, Ben, and Jason, anyone from the Carpet City Flooring Center team. Because when it comes to getting that new floor in your home, don't live in that fantasy world. Work with the best and the most consistent winner there is. That's Carpet City Flooring Center. The entire team there will become the best teammates you could hope for. And I know this from my own experiences. So if you're thinking about getting that new floor in your home, your office, your man cave, bedroom, or wherever, stop fantasizing about that new floor. Just make it a reality with the best team in the biz. It's Carpet City Flooring Center right here in Eau Claire. So rip up those mock draft boards. There's only one place you need to go when it comes to all of your flooring needs. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center for yourself today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire. Fall is fast approaching. Football, leaves falling, cooler nights and mornings, and hunting season. It's time to get ready for hunting season, people. You've waited all winter, spring, and summer for this, and Tilden Gun has been waiting for you. You looking for a shotgun for turkey, duck, or bird hunting? How about a new rifle for deer or bear hunting? Tilden Gun has the best selection in the area and at the best prices. Tilden Gun is your best spot to get ready for the upcoming 2022 hunting season. I know from experience. I've gotten my new turkey shotgun and my new deer rifle from Tilden Gun. And I ain't kidding when I said it was the best price that I found. And you want to talk about the selection? Tilden Gun easily had the best selection of firearms. I can't tell you how many people have told me that Tilden Gun was the only place that could find the certain firearm they were looking for. So what the heck are you waiting for? Visit tildengun.com to look for your new hunting firearm today. Mark your calendars for August 27th through the 28th because it's time for the 5th annual Wissota Open at the Lake Wissota Golf Course. This tournament is a two-person team net best ball style, and first place winner receives $2,000, second place winner receives $1,000, and third place receives $500. Plus, the low gross score wins $500. Sign up your team now for $350 per team. Just visit wissota.golf for more information and to register your team for the 5th annual Wissota Open.
The All of Us Research Program has a simple mission. They want to speed up medical breakthroughs. To do this, they're asking people across America to share their unique health information to create the largest, most diverse medical research program ever. The more information researchers have, the faster they can create individualized prevention, precise treatment options, and better care for everyone. Help make this mission achievable. Learn more at joinallofus.org/WBA. Sponsored by All of Us Wisconsin.
If you want to start the semester strong, Staples has you covered.
A gaming chair for my dorm. I mean, a desk chair for studying.
Staples has you covered.
A better way to organize my stuff instead of using milk crates.
A desk lamp to help me pull all-nighters.
Staples has you covered with remote workspace solutions. And now get 25% off desks, filing and storage solutions, lighting, and decor with the purchase of any chair. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 9/24. In-store only.
More than the scores. More than the news. It's Sports Out the Squeaker. The Dan Kasper Show.
Oh, we're wrapping things up on this Tuesday morning, inching a little bit closer and closer to Friday. Get to hang out with all of you goofballs out there. Should be a lot of fun. If you're not a golfer, and if you're not golfing, just couldn't make it, but you can make it out for a beverage at some point. Princeton Valley, we'll see you there. Okay, countdown's on, baby. Again, title belt should be coming today. I'll post the pictures up on the socials when they come through here. Give you a little bit of like motivation there, team surveyor. Okay, kind of like Rocky when he puts, the picture of Ivan Drago in the mirror. I could picture YouTube goofballs doing that with like C-Bomb or G-Man or whatever you got to do. Whatever gets you motivated. So tonight, Brewers taking on the Dodgers, 9-10, another late one. Believe this should be, no, never mind. I got a couple more West Coast ones there with Arizona. That's going to be late ones. I was thinking, okay, is this the latest one? But nope. Got a couple more there. So, but 9-10 tonight, first pitch. Coverage will begin on the 2 radio dials here about 35 minutes prior. Game time's getting a little bit adjusted for the game. Tomorrow night, I got an email late last night saying that first pitch, because on your schedules it says 8 o'clock, but they're moving it 5 minutes. So for whatever reason, I don't know, but 8:05 first pitch for tomorrow night's game. So just in case you're wondering. All right. Let's cover the bases. We only got a few minutes to the top here. So, obviously, we talked plenty of Brewers. Brewers getting the victory last night. Corbin Burns on the mound. Could be a matchup of the reigning Cy Young Award winner in Corbin versus maybe the winner of this year's Cy Young, Mr. Gonsolin. So we'll see if the Brewers get the W, they win the series against the Dodgers, and they'll win the season series against the Dodgers too, which is kind of weird to. I shouldn't say weird, but it's like, yeah, you can win the Dodgers, you can beat the Dodgers, but can't beat the Pirates as of late, or the Reds, or the Cubs as of late. So we'll get to that tomorrow, though. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a win. Also, should be the final quote unquote preseason practice. Today, teams have to in the NFL get down to 80. So might have a couple of movements here and there with some teams across the league, but just down to 80 players. And then next week, they got to get down to that 53. So these last couple of days, these are big days for those those roster bubble players. Practice. I mean, they got today and they got Thursday. So they'll be flying out tomorrow to Kansas City, but today and Thursday, these youngsters, these players who are trying to chase their dreams, trying to win a job, trying to earn a spot. Clock's ticking now. So a big day today, and of course on Thursday with that final preseason game. So, do you want the Packer starters to play in this game? Do you think they should, or is it a little bit of an over exaggeration from that Saints one? Rasul Douglas indicating that at least the defense would be. Aaron Rodgers was asked about it yesterday, shrugged it off and said, "We'll do whatever Matt tells us to do." What do you think? Should they play because they're going to have a couple weeks in between, or I don't think there's a right answer either way, to be honest with you. But we'll find out come tomorrow, or maybe today, or even on Thursday. We'll find out if Rodgers or any of the offenses will be starting. So yeah, we'll see what happens today at practice. We got that going on. If you're looking at for the upcoming schedule for tomorrow, we'll do a little match game. It is also stock reports are due tomorrow, so get to that. Whose stock is rising, whose stock is falling. We'll do a little feel good, kind of like a feel good story midway through the week, making a turn feel good story. Change that up from Fridays a couple weeks ago, just because you get to the halfway mark. Maybe might need a little bit of motivation, a little bit of a boost to finish out the week. So that's why we switched it up to our feel good stories to halfway through the week on a Wednesday. So get that extra push there. Tell you what that story is tomorrow. Also, don't forget, I put it up on Facebook, but what is your favorite Wisconsin traditions? All right. So comment on a Facebook page. I've got your texts for those of you who have texted in. Favorite Scotty traditions. I'm working on something, but I need your help on that. So hit me up with some comments. And you can also tweet at me at DANKASPER as well. So other than that, got the Brewers tonight. We'll talk some more college football as we inch a little bit closer. We'll get some predictions, get some picks, all that good stuff coming down the wire. Final poll question, or final results on the poll question from this morning for our turn 2 topic. Do you get more excited about college football or the NFL? The winner was the NFL. The majority of picks went with the NFL. And my pick, I get more excited about kickoff to the NFL. It's just the way it is. I get more excited for that. I don't know how else. I mean, I've kind of, living a dream, Jeff. I know mentioned it too a little bit with, when losing one game in college football, it kind of dampers it a little bit. That's my biggest bugaboo with college football. And it all depends on your favorite team too, the team that you follow. But, you lose one game to Northwestern or whatever, and it's like, maybe kiss a Final Four or college football playoff goodbye. But I get more pumped up about pro football. for that start. Although it does get drawn out a little bit more. I feel like with training camp and all that, it gets kind of drawn out a little bit more. Whereas at least college football, it's a little bit more, they got the closed practices a little bit more. They don't have like Green Bay where you can go to training camp and ride the bikes and watch that once in a while. They'll have an open practice, so it's a little bit more hidden, but we're inching closer to just football in general for college and the pros. So that's a good thing. High school starting off last week. Football is here, peeps. All right, yeah. So again, tomorrow, because that Oscar music's going to cut me off. Stock reports. I want your stock reports. Text those babies on over. We'll play a little match game. We've got a feel-good story midway through the week. I need to come up with a better name for that so it rolls off the tongue better. We'll get to that. Hopefully recapping another Brewers win with Corbin Burns on the mound tonight. Maybe even going for a sweep. Maybe. DP and the Danettes, they're up next. Have a fantastic Tuesday, you crazy people. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, just past 6. Talk to you then.